This is the plaintiff, Edward Page Jr. He says he was on his way to work in his new car when the inattentive defendant rear-ended him with such force he crashed into the car in front of him. The defendant was 100% at fault. His car's now worth less than it was when he bought it due to the defendant's negligence, and he's suing her for the $2,700 difference. This is the defendant, Lauren Ives. She admits she was going too fast to stop for the traffic in front of her and crashed into the back of the plaintiff's car. Her insurance deemed the accident to be her fault. They paid the plaintiff for his repairs, and this case was settled. Now that guy's turning around and suing her personally for the decreased value of his car. Is he serious? She feels this is a lame attempt to extort additional money out of her, and the plaintiff should be ashamed of himself. She is accused of hitting a guy where it hurts.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says he got rear-ended so hard he was pushed into the car in front of him. Now, the defendant says, yeah, she was going too fast, but her insurance paid. It's the case of, you really hurt my rear.
Okay, Mr. Page, you were suing Ms. Ives for diminished value of your vehicle after an accident that you folks had back in August of 2011. Correct. Tell me what happened.
All right. I purchased a car on August 2nd, 2011. It was certified pre-owned. It was in excellent condition. As buying the car certified pre-owned, it meant it underwent a 156-point inspection. I drove the car for about 4.5 months. I loved it. And then on December 16th, the car was rear-ended by Lauren and pushed into the car in front of me. The damage was extensive.
What happened? How did the accident happen?
We were coming to a stoplight, and I didn't realize that the traffic was stopped.
What force did you hit his car? Well, how fast were you going?
I believe I was going like 35.
And there was no braking at all?
I braked, but I braked too late. Yeah, too late.
And you had a 3-car pilot?
So I braked, and then I think he was too close to the car in front of him, so then he got pushed into it.
He was parked. He was at a light.
I was stopped.
He was stopped at a light. How much distance do you want him to keep between him and the car in front of him at a light?
Yeah, so I hit.
That's not like driving and you're following too closely. That's just you sending everything. So with 3-car accident?
Yeah, the car in front of me.
Now, my understanding is that her insurance covered your damages.
Correct.
As in paid the auto body repair place to repair your car.
That's
in fact, they paid like $13,000.
It was a little over $12,000.
A little over $12,000. So after that, sometime after that, you get a light bulb over your head and decide, wait a minute, I want diminished value, which I didn't sue for. I didn't claim when I made the claim.
Right.
All right, tell me about that.
About a year and a half after the accident, last summer, I decided to look into buying a new car. And I realized, with this accident on the record, it most likely would show up and I would get less value for the car. Because the car, when I got it back, it was repaired beautifully. It drove great. I didn't notice a difference. And, only having the car for 4.5 months before the accident, I just kind of wanted to enjoy it. But
what made you think of it all those months later?
When I went to go sell the car.
Oh, you were going to sell the car.
When I thought about buying a new car, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I would
so you take the car into CarMax.
Right.
And they make you an offer.
Yes.
And it's kind of low.
Yeah, surprisingly low.
What did they say?
They said $55,000 or $5,500. I'm sorry.
Well, that wouldn't be low. That'd be awesome. You should have taken it and run.
Yeah, $5,500, which I know cars devalue every year, but after a year and a half to 2 years.
What's the Blue Book value for your car?
The Kelley Blue Book value for a trade-in and good value was $9,133. I also did an Edmunds.com appraisal, and a clean trade-in would be $7,937. So the way I found the number 2,700 was by averaging those two, subtracting it from the offer that I got from CarMax, $5,500. That gave me $3,035. I subtracted 10% because I know in buying cars, just like any major property, you can talk to people, talk them down, work with them. So I subtracted 10%.
So you feel that when the day comes that you're going to sell this car, that you're going to end up getting $2,700 less because of the severe damage that it went through, despite the fact that it was fixed.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you, have you talked to your insurance company to tell them that he's come, Freddy Krueger rises again?
No, I didn't.
Just teasing you. You called it, I love what you say in your complaint. You say it's one of the best kept secrets in the insurance industry. So you just came to court and responded to his lawsuit, you didn't let your insurance, I mean, that's what you pay insurance premiums for, is
Right.
to let them handle this stuff.
Right. No, I didn't go through insurance.
Okay, you still have the same insurance?
Yes.
Okay, the whole idea behind paying these premiums is that you don't have to worry your pretty little head. You let them worry their massive corporate, suits worry about this, because that's what you're paying the premiums for. Let them figure it out and work it out with him, like they did the last time. Okay, so I agree that, diminished, he's right, it is one of the best kept secrets in the insurance industry. When you can prove, I assume that at 13,000 there was extensive frame damage.
Yeah. Well, there was the radiator support, which is in the front of the car, was damaged and needed to be replaced, which is a frame
Yeah,
part.
but the stuff that gets replaced was replaced, so that's not the issue. It's
Right.
diminished value on the car because it's been in a car accident, and usually that's not because it was in a tiny little scratch, it's because it was in a major league accident. Do you have pictures of the car after the accident?
I do. I have.
Because they had to be pretty bad.
Yeah.
At 35 miles an hour?
Yeah. The front and rear of the car had massive damage. The photos show that the rear impact crushed the trunk, which needed replaced. The exhaust was crushed as well, the full exhaust all the way to the bent pipe in the front of the car. Both bumpers, both headlights, taillights, every panel in the car. Some of the photos show that.
So you're trying to figure this out by saying, all right, CarMax, which is a big, car. I mean, CarMax is usually the lower quote, right? Because it's easy. You walk in,
Right.
you drive in. It's like McDonald's.
Yeah.
You drive in, they give you a quote, you drive out, and then you use it everywhere else. So you got a very low quote out of a place that is dealing in volume, and which is great. I'm not knocking CarMax. It has, for people who don't feel like going through effort, it's great. And you are deducting that from the Blue Book values it should be. But what if you were to get more if you sold it on your own?
So, should the plaintiff be able to get the cost of the diminished value of his car when he turns around and sells it, even though his car was fixed fine?
I think she should because
He should.
or he should because it was in mint condition. It would have stayed in mint condition had this not happened.
Right, but the car runs fine and everything else.
Absolutely, they should get the price because it loses the value. So as soon as it gets hit, that loses the value.
Yeah, but you don't know what it's going to be like when he turns around and sells it. It could be a junker by the time he does that.
Well, if it was diminished value, they should be able to sue the person. If they were completely not at fault and the insurance company agrees with that, then they should be able to be compensated for that loss.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
I agree with you that you are going to get somewhat less. I don't agree with your math. So this is kind of a rough justice kind of thing. So watch me do a little rough justice here. And what I find is that there is, by the way, the purchase price of the vehicle was $22,000?
It was valued around a little over 20,000.
You paid 19, I'm sorry, you paid
Right.
19.
Yep.
Yeah. I find that you are entitled to diminished value in the amount of $1,500. And this is something that your insurance company should cover, by the way, so go ahead and call them as soon as you walk out. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
All right, so the plaintiff has collected against the defendant here, not everything he sued for, but what do you think of this?
I think it was fair. I don't think he should have gotten the $1,500, but should have gone through insurance next time.
This is interesting about this best kept secret
Yeah,
of the
never
insurance
heard of it
companies.
before.
It's not a secret anymore.
No.
What were you doing how come you didn't notice the traffic had stopped?
I'm not sure.
Where was your head at that moment?
It was somewhere else. It wasn't on the road.
Where is it now?
It's focusing on the road when I'm driving.
Okay, all right, right down there.
Thank you.
Right down there.
Thank you.
All right,
That's fine.
where's your head coming out of the courtroom here?
I'm pretty pleased with the results. I wish I got a little bit more, but it'll at least help when I go to resell my car.
Could you tell us more about this secret?
It's just you can get more value from your car. If you're in an accident, after the damages are repaired, you still lose value when you go to resell it.
Right, so it's the difference between what you could have resold it for and what you now can resell
The market
it for.
value before and
Insurance
after.
companies pay for that.
They do.
All right.
Yes.
Harvey, what do you think?
Well, the judge said that some insurance carriers will cover diminished value. Not all of them do. As a matter of fact, the one I have does not, and mine is a major carrier.
This is the plaintiff, Barry Goodman. He says he runs a medical transport company, and they transfer cancer patients to and from the hospital for medical care. The defendant worked for him, and when he quit, he stole 5 uniforms and also left him with an outstanding ticket for running a red light. The guy refuses to make good on the money he owes, and he's going to exercise every legal right to get the $235 he's due. This is the defendant, Willie White, Jr. He says the plaintiff gave him a few used items of clothing to wear while he was on the job and never once mentioned he had to return them. As far as the red light ticket goes, he never ever went through a red light, never ever got a ticket, and is never ever going to pay for something he doesn't owe. He's accused of aggravating an employer.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff runs a medical transport company, claims the defendant stole 5 uniforms before he was fired, but the defendant says the plaintiff gave him a few used uniforms and never mentioned returning them. It's the case of I'm transporting your uniform to me.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Mr. Goodman, you are suing Mr. White on behalf of the transportation company that you manage. You've asked us not to mention the name. For $235 for a red light ticket and uniforms that he refused to return after his employment ceased. Tell me what's going on.
We hired Willie in October 21st of 2013. And then about a month later or so in November, he said his mom was very sick and he needed to take care of her upstate New York, and he would come back. Willie was a good driver and a good person without company. He
What kind of transportation?
An ambulate. We drive dialysis clients, chemo, cancer patients, so they depend on a driver being there and being there on time. Willie went upstate. The next time we saw him was December 8th. He came to a party. He picked up his bonus and then left. We never saw him since. I then called him following the party in December and said, Willie, what's going on? How's your mom? And he told me that his sister would be coming down and help him out here in Long Island, and he'd be back to work tomorrow. I put him in touch with my dispatcher. They set up a time and a day. He never showed up at 2 o'clock. I had dialysis and cancer and patients late because Willie never showed up. We had to cover his shift. And then the following thing I did is I sent him a letter indicating January that he's being dismissed for abandonment of his job. He needs to turn in his uniforms as per contract, which I have here, which I will submit, his uniform. Then my owner received a traffic ticket that he got on November 6th. We watched the video.
How do you know it's him?
Okay, I have here.
Did you get a traffic ticket?
No, it's a red light ticket.
A red light
summons.
Snapped photo?
Yep.
Ah,
So
diabolical.
What we did with the red light.
Everybody hates those things until someone's speeding right into their car. Then they're really grateful for those things.
It's sad. It's sad that he got it. It was sad that anybody gets it.
No, it's not sad. It's good that he got it if he was speeding.
He wasn't speeding. He made a right turn.
Well, if he was violating the law, I'm glad that he got it. I'm glad that you got caught. I'm glad that the picture was taken. You're not following me. I'm saying the exact opposite of what you're saying. All right, so let me see the ticket.
Along with the ticket, I can show you the day and the time that he got it. This is the trip ticket where he picked up a customer before and after, shows that he was driving 819 on that date.
Got it.
This is
driving
the contract,
van number 819, which you can see in the picture.
We can see clearly. You can see the number there. This is the procedural manual contract that he signed that indicates that if he receives any don't go away. If he receives any traffic tickets, if he receives any traffic summonses, et cetera, number from the procedural manual, and that was signed. And then the last item that I have for you is his uniforms that when he received it, he was to turn it upon dismissal, and he was well aware he was dismissed.
What's going on, Mr. White?
How you doing, Judge? The red light ticket, I have no clue on that I even got it.
Well, and that's often the case, but let me tell you something. I'm looking at van number 819. Is that the one you were driving on that day?
I would drive different vans.
Okay, well, it looks like you were driving 819 on 11/6, since here are the ticket transports. Is this your signature from the people you picked up before and after and were driving to and from?
This is the van. Yes, ma'am. What happens is...
So who got that ticket if not you?
What happens is...
Are you convinced now that that's your...
That's not... I'm not saying it's me. I'm not saying, because what happens is the pickup times... The pickup times, if you see 11:45 pickup, there's a 1 o'clock pickup. And then they say I get the ticket at 12:09. to Springfield.
Who'd you loan your truck to for 1 minute to make a bad right? Because you're driving it before and after. How much more evidence do we need that it's you?
The thing is, ma'am, we drive different vans.
Yes, but on that day you were driving 819 because I see the ticket before and the ticket after. So I know you had 819.
So if you get a traffic ticket on the job, does the employer have to pay for the ticket or do you pay?
Well, legally, I believe the employer has to pay, but the company, it was the guy's fault. So
If you're driving it,
if I'm driving it, then I think I'd have to pay.
does the employer at all have to pay?
No, because it's my responsibility. It's my fault.
Really good answer going inside the courtroom.
I had that van. I'm gonna have to go with I had the van, but from where this is to where these pickups is, I'm not around there. So if you get the map, you can see it. 12:45 and 12:30. And
Where'd you go for lunch that day?
I didn't have lunch. I don't have lunch. We don't get lunch.
Okay, hand over this. I'm pretty convinced you got that ticket. Now let's talk about, how much was the ticket, by the way?
It's $80.
Okay, and you don't deny that according to the office manual, you guys are responsible for tickets that you get, right?
I never seen that.
Okay, did you read the office manual before you signed it?
No.
Okay, but you did sign it, right?
Because I didn't sign anything. The only thing I signed was things that saying that we...
On 10/18/13, I have received my new updated policy and procedural manual. I am aware that I'm responsible for all policies and procedures included. Willie White, is this your signature?
Right, but I didn't see anything about a ticket.
Oh, you didn't bother to read it.
No,
Okay, but
because
you had a
it's just
chance
like
to read
sign.
it. Put your hands down. You had a chance to read it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let's talk about the uniforms. Do you have the uniforms here?
Yes, ma'am. I have 4 shirts and a jacket.
You signed this saying you had 5 shirts. Here,
Okay.
show it to him, will you?
Okay,
Let me
5.
see the shirts.
Here's that. Here's all that.
So how many shirts do you have?
4 shirts.
So why does he have to sue you to get the uniforms back? When you signed, did you see the agreement you signed that you give the uniforms back if you quit or if you stopped working there?
I didn't even read it, nothing, because it was just
Yeah,
like...
but how about his 22 phone calls to you asking you to please return the uniforms?
This is what happened, Judge. Your Honor, what happened was my mother, right now she lost both her legs because of diabetes and everything.
Sorry about that.
Okay, he kept calling, he was calling, and I wanted to come back, you know what I mean? I came back for the party because somebody said, come, which is a mutual friend of ours that's there. So I reached out to him to give the uniforms back. But by that time, I was keep getting, letters, phone calls, and in the letter, one of the letters never said anything about a red light ticket.
Yeah, because they didn't know about it until they got it in the mail later.
Right,
But so why didn't you, when you went to the party, why didn't you just return the uniform?
Because I was planning on going back.
No, it's because you wanted to collect the bonus check.
Absolutely not. The bonus.
How much was the bonus check?
$30.
All right, so
I have it in my car. It's still sitting up in the thing. I didn't do anything. Yes, ma'am.
What do you do all day?
I drive trucks.
Okay, but you in all these months you haven't had a chance to cash a check or return the uniform?
It was cash money. It was.
If you're I see.
It was cash. So I didn't really pay no mind.
So you still have the cash up on your visor? Is that what you're saying?
I do. I mean,
I guess you have it though. All right. So, but when you hear the guy like leaving all these messages to return the stuff, why don't you just not? But why don't you just? It's so easy not to burn a bridge and leave a place with a good feeling in their hearts and a good taste in their mouth.
Why, Judge? At that time when they hired me, Barry, we, mutual friends, and Wayne, they're like a family. You know what I mean? And they're really good with me. And I didn't feel like telling them that I wasn't coming back at that time because. He sat me down, we talked, I even shed a tear.
So you decided to make it worse and not return his stuff because he's such a nice guy?
I was going to give it to one of the guys that was there because...
But you didn't.
Because I tried to get in touch with him and I didn't.
So why don't you just drop it off and say, I'm so embarrassed, I'm so sorry, but there are big health problems with my mom and I've got to go to a higher paying job. Why did you switch jobs?
I didn't switch jobs at that time because I was.
You were purely taking. So why would anybody not understand that you need to quit?
Because they was dependent on me. Because like he said, I was a good driver.
So they were depending on you. So your way of paying back that faith was to act even 100 times worse.
Absolutely not. It wasn't.
It was awful.
It was awful. And like I said, if I can apologize, I would.
Apologize.
Barry, Wayne, I apologize. Truthfully. Yeah, for real, because like I said,
sometimes, listen up to me, because I want to tell you 2 things. Number 1, I feel for you, because I also have a father with elderly onset diabetes. And he's lost several toes. and he's managed not to lose the limbs, but it really looked like it was going to happen. And I know the kind of demoralizing feeling that can give to somebody.
The year before, I lost my father, so it was like I was going through a whole lot.
I understand.
So it was like,
I understand. But, we still have to do what we got to do, because life goes on, and, you still got to do what you got to do. And it's not even like somebody's asking you to paint the Sistine Chapel. This is like nothing. Just return some clothes so they don't have to sue you in court for it. Douglas, will you please take the clothes and take it over there?
Absolutely.
As far as the ticket is concerned, it's $80. The missing shirt is $20. My verdict is for the plaintiff in this case in the amount of the $100. Good luck, everybody.
And so the plaintiff does get what he sued you for out of this, and what are you thinking as you come out of this courtroom?
It's nothing really to say. He's right, and I just hope he forgives me for it. That's it.
And when you reached across and shook your hand, what were you thinking right there?
I don't know. I was thinking that thank God it's over, and I just hope he accept my apology. That's it.
All right, okay. Looked like he did. Okay, head right down this way. There he goes. Good man, or?
He's a good man, and I'm sorry to lose him, but sometimes the choices that we make today will affect tomorrow and forever. But he is a good man. I'm sorry sorry about his mom, and hopefully he can move forward positively in his life. Mm-hmm. We miss him.
He said he hopes you accept his apology.
We accept his apologies, no question about it. This is the pride of our company.
All right, after the street in Harvey.
Got to say, the defendant in this case was smart, because by bringing the clothes in, he avoided what could have been a pretty big monetary judgment.
This is the plaintiff, Marcy McDonald. She says the defendant hired her to be an assistant to go to Maine and help him shoot a documentary. It soon became quite evident the guy had no plans on actually making that documentary. He just wanted a pretty young thing to travel with. Regardless, she accompanied him for 25 hours and wants every penny of the $314.91 she's owed. This is the defendant, Anthony Gerard. He says the plaintiff must be crazy or something because she scouted locations with him, talked to archaeologists and doctors, and took notes and photos. Besides, he didn't hire her. He was just her supervisor. She's padding her hours for travel time, and he most certainly doesn't owe her any money. He's accused of not digging an employee.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant hired her to be an assistant for a documentary. All he really wanted was a pretty girl by his side, but the defendant says she's crazy. She was there to scout locations, deal with archaeologists. It's the case, Kim. Can you dig it?
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Marcy McDonald, you're suing Anthony Gerard for $314.91 in wages that you say he owes you and refuses to pay you.
Wages and expenses.
Yes. Tell me how you two met and what you're talking about.
He placed an ad in Craigslist for an assistant to help him out with a documentary in Maine.
Okay, what was the documentary going to be about?
Archaeology. There was a dig going on in the Popham dig. It was
so you were going to serve as a personal assistant?
That and a few other things. He wanted me to find him a producer, female.
So you were going to serve as an assistant. And did you have any experience with production?
Yes, as well as archaeology.
Oh, okay. Now, who placed the ad in the paper?
Tony Gerard.
It was in his name?
I believe.
Do you have it?
No, I don't.
Do you have it?
No.
Okay. And so you answered the ad, you got hired, and tell me about what happened.
Well, I went to the interview where there were two nice young girls there, and he explained everything and said that it was only $10 an hour, but it would go up, $10 in expenses, and that he wanted to start going up to the dig in Maine. So they dropped out, I dropped in, and we drove up to Maine, but there wasn't a camera in the car. There didn't seem to be anything. I saw what he had already done, which looked pretty amateurish, which is why he asked me to find him a producer and an editor. So we get to Maine, and he didn't even know where the Popham dig was when everybody along the beach knew where it was, right above the Kennebec River. Lots of things have been built there. This was just the first one in the 1630s.
Okay.
So the man who was in charge of the archaeological expedition didn't tell me until after I'd spoken to him a few times when we were already there that he'd already stopped digging, that the ground was getting too hard. But He pinpointed us right across from the hotel where we were staying. We went there.
To what?
To the Popham Dig.
Okay.
So we get there. On Saturday and Sunday, we were looking for a bank because by then Tony had told me that he was running out of money that the state had given him to make this thing, and he had to look for a loan. So we went from bank to bank to bank. But this is after phoning all the people who had to do with the dig and the various museums that we'd visited and that sort of thing on the way up. And I was constantly phoning people on the way up. I don't know whether or not he didn't bring his telephone or if he didn't have one, but I made all the calls to everyone and took the notes and did whatever had to be done. But I didn't take any pictures. As far as I knew, he was supposed to be in charge of that as the producer of this non-existent thing. But once we got to Spinney's Beach, and we stayed there tonight, we didn't even go to the dig until the next day. He didn't even know it was there, but all of the people in that area knew that it was there because they told us where to go. And I went over there and I said, oh, look, it's all right here. And he said, how do you know? I said, well, there's a flagpole, and at the bottom of it was the whole story, plus photographs of the dig and everything that we'd seen in the museum on Friday. But there was not a moving camera anywhere.
So how long, when did you come back to New York?
That Sunday.
Okay, so you drove out on Friday?
The 5th. Yes, Friday the 5th, came back on the 8th.
Okay. And did you get paid at all?
No.
You didn't get paid a penny?
Nothing.
Okay. Did you ever get called back by him?
Yes, because he had asked me if I would go up to a Maine film festival with him. But I thought since he was already looking for money to be able to go to the film festival and to be able to complete this thing, I thought I was going to be too much of an expense. I had already asked him I had to go and review a play off-Broadway and asked him if he wanted to go to that, and that was the last time I saw him.
Were you dating?
No.
What do you mean
God,
review
no.
a play off-Broadway and asked him if he wanted?
He lived right next door to it.
What, but so you were friends?
No.
So is it dicey to get a job off of Craigslist?
Absolutely. There are so many scammers out there.
What do you think? Dicey?
No, it's not dicey. A job's a job at this point.
Job's a job unless you don't get paid going inside the courtroom.
Okay, why are you asking him to review a play?
Because a lot of people who employ me, I ask them if they want to go with me if it's close
Just
to them.
as a social thing?
Sure.
Okay, that's what it's kind of weird
I wasn't
because
dating him.
Okay, no, I'm just
but
asking.
This is what you do with a boss, or
Well, that's not what everybody does with a boss, but that's fine. It's not. I'm not judging you. I'm
Well, if it's a boss who's supposed to be in that
confused
business.
because one of the things that you say in the complaint. It seemed the defendant was done with me and just wanted a young thing to travel with, which was fine. It's a peculiar thing to say. I
didn't say the young thing was, I didn't say anybody was done with me and wanted a young thing. The two other people who came in for the interview on a Saturday were very young girls. They both thought that there was no money in it and thought that they didn't want to travel with him up to Maine.
Okay, what's going on? Why didn't you pay the lady?
Well, I'd asked her to send an invoice to the corporation, which was based in Maine.
What corporation?
It's Forgotten Frontier.
Whose corporation is that?
It's a nonprofit organization that.
Whose nonprofit organization?
I'm a trustee of that organization.
Who else is a trustee?
Well, there are other individuals in
Who
Maine.
are the trustees of that organization? That's your organization. You're saying that you didn't pay her because she didn't send it to Frontier as opposed to you, who was the guy who put the Craigslist ad?
Yes.
Didn't you put your name in the Craigslist ad?
No, I believe it was in the name of the corporation.
Prove that.
I don't have the proof today.
Okay. Well, today's a good day to have it because today's a trial, right? All right. So your answer is that you didn't pay her because she didn't send the bill to your nonprofit?
Yeah.
Okay, let's pretend she had sent the bill to your nonprofit. Then what? I wouldn't be here?
No, it would have been paid.
Why didn't you just pay it? When she sent the bill, why didn't you send it to you? You don't make any sense. What difference does it make who she emails a bill to? You just wanted to go ahead and stiff her because you don't have money. How is that appropriate?
It was just the proper invoice was not made.
I don't understand. You can pay it from whichever place you want to, since it's your non-profit. So what possible excuse do you have to not have paid this bill?
I really never received it. It was...
How many people have you done this way?
No one.
Seriously? Over $300? The woman spent the entire weekend working for you.
Well, that was unfortunate.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that you answered his ad. My verdict is for the plaintiff in the amount of the $314.91.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And so after that, the first out of the courtroom is the defendant right here. Really? What do you have to say about that?
Well, I was waiting to get a properly prepared invoice so it could go through the company that I worked for.
But she does deserve the money, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Good luck to you right around the corner this way. All right. Come on in here. And
Hi there.
what do you make of this?
I don't know. It's a long way to travel just to get $300, but I was tired of being stiffed. I've just done digs where people actually dig and where they actually bring cameras to record the thing and where they actually take notes. I've never had anybody ask me to find a bank where they could get a loan, or after I told them that I wasn't going to a film festival, placed a second ad in Craigslist for somebody else.
Uh-huh. All right, Harvey, you got it.
I got to tell you, this guy's answers are so creepy. If you're in a situation where you don't get paid, call the Labor Commission. They can actually help you get your paycheck.
This is the plaintiff, Dorothy Barbour. She says she and the defendant are caretakers who shared a client. So when one wasn't available to work, the other one would cover. The defendant ended up going on vacation, and she worked her shifts for 4 days. The defendant was paid for those days, owes her that money, and hasn't paid up. So she's suing for the $400 she's owed. This is the defendant, Lorraine Middleton. She says they had an agreement where no money would change hands. She owed the plaintiff 4 days of work when she couldn't make it and was ready, willing, and able to cover any time. The plaintiff, however, never asked her to cover any days. The woman they cared for was moved to another facility, and that's when she started asking her for actual money. She's still waiting to work and willing to work for the plaintiff with another client, but give her cold cash? Not happening. She's accused of not playing nice.
Douglas,
You're welcome, ma'am.
Ms. Barbour, you are suing Ms. Middleton, your, I guess, former friend, for $400 that you say she owes you because you worked some days for her and that she refuses to pay you. Tell me what's going on.
Yes. On July the 29th, the 30th, 31st, and August 1st, Lorraine called me and asked me would I work in her place because she was going on vacation. And so I said yes.
Okay,
So
where were you working?
It was independent living.
Okay, at a facility?
Yes.
Okay.
And so we do that all the time. You know, it's a group of 4 women, and we switch out. So when any one of us have to have something to do, we ask the person that we're working for to work in our place so that our pay would never change.
So rather than having your employer pay whoever worked, you would just switch off and owe each other.
And then that way, you know, you won't lose.
So according to you, she owes you 4 days.
Right.
Okay, are you still working at the same place?
No, our job went out in December.
Why? What happened?
She went into assisted living.
Oh, because you were caring for a particular person.
Right.
Okay. And then she went into an assisted living facility,
Yes.
so that was that.
Right. Her daughter put her into assisted living.
How is the lady doing?
I went to see her about 3 weeks ago. She's doing fine. And when I
What'd you go see her for?
I just went to visit.
Okay, good. That's
Yeah.
what I wanted to hear.
You know,
All right, so in any event, so because the job ended, you didn't get a chance to work those days, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did you work any of them?
Those 4 days, I have on my calendar that I worked 1, but Your Honor, when we started this agreement, no money changed hands. We would work for each other. If
No,
they
no
needed,
money was
yes,
contemplated
none.
to change hands.
Exactly.
I understand that, but if force majeure takes place and through circumstances outside of your control, the job is no longer there,
Yes.
then how are you going to pay her her 4 days, if not through money?
Yes. Okay, what I said to Dorothy, because when I first initially met Dorothy, and she is still working for a gentleman in that building, so I said to Dorothy, I says, well, Dorothy, you know, our agreement was that we would change time, but I will gladly fill in for you with this other gentleman that you work for 7 days a week. I worked for him a lot
Did you
of
ever
times.
speak to the gentleman to see if you could do that arrangement?
My client that I still work for, when I mentioned it to him, he said no. He said no. He said, if she come in and assist me, you still losing money from me. She's going to work for him to pay me.
Because you have to find somebody who's willing to obligate himself to the risk that you're going to sue him for payment. Like, I wouldn't get involved in that.
Yeah, and so he told me
So
no. And
that fellow's still got a very sharp mind.
That's the same thing that he said to me.
Yeah.
He said, I don't want to have nothing to
do with
it.
your issue, right?
He said,
so
I do not want to have...
I understand that that's the arrangement that you guys have, but you can't pay her the way the arrangement you guys have, and it's not her fault that you can't. So how does she get paid her days, right? Because it's not fair that she worked for you and she doesn't get any money.
Yes. Your Honor.
She says she did work one of the days. Is that not true?
No, altogether it was 6 days in all, because she had another client to call me when she was down in Virginia.
Does that ring a bell?
So that she wouldn't have
So
to...
you did 2 of the 6 days, leaving 4 days.
Right,
is what you're saying.
right.
Yeah.
And then, see, I can't afford to pay for somebody's vacation, because I don't even go on vacation myself.
You need a vacation. Who
Who
are the people you have with you?
This is
Friends?
Amina Love, yes, in Georgetown. I've been knowing them for over 40 years before my children was born.
What kind of friends are you? Grab this woman and take her on a vacation.
If you
a
read...
witness or moral support?
I am a witness for both of them.
Oh, come on up. Come on up.
Okay, it turns out that the plaintiff worked 4 extra days that the defendant should have worked. Does the plaintiff get that money from the defendant?
They made a deal to pay each other off. So if you work the extra days, then you work the extra days.
So it's tough luck for the plaintiff.
Tough luck.
You agree?
That's the way the cookie crumbles. That's right.
Really? You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree.
Why, because he's got his arm around you or something?
No.
Yes. Going inside the courtroom.
I started working for the lady that Dorothy is talking about. As time went on and the lady got worse, her daughter asked me, did I know someone else? So our employer, she said, I'll give them every 4 days.
So that her mother would have full-time care.
Right.
Right.
What happened was I informed both Dorothy and Lorraine that the lady was getting worse. She was 98. She'll be 99
God
in
bless
May.
her.
And she is a blessing. She's not in a wheelchair, a walker, or a cane. And every Monday we went to the mall, Tuesday lunch and learn, Wednesday a concert, Thursday Florham Park. And they will tell you she's spiffy. The first lady on the New York Stock Exchange. And would tell jokes. You could walk in and wake her up. And she'll say, is my teeth in? Did I sleep? Where's my teeth? She wasn't crotchety, cranky, or anything. But I told both Dorothy and Lorraine, I love them both, that things were getting worse, and our employer was thinking about putting her in an Alzheimer's unit, which she did. We were told it would be a month or more before we would lose our jobs. And I know that the time was trying to be made up, but she was able to get in the facility earlier, and that's where I guess the mix-up was.
I don't really need to hear any more from either one of you. I mean, I think nobody disagrees on what the facts are.
Right.
The facts are the facts. You know, my dad is 91, my mother's 88, and I would feel so privileged to have any of you taking care of them because you're all lovely, lovely women, okay? However, we have an issue, and the issue is that we have a contract between 2 people where the method of payment is X, and X can't happen anymore. So I have to figure out something that does work, okay? There's only 2 choices, work or money. There aren't any other choices. So I am going to find that, in fact, you owe her the remaining 4 days and $400. And I'm going to rule in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $400. That's my verdict. Good luck, ladies.
All right, so here comes the defendant out here. So, well, she collects her money for the days because you couldn't pay her back in days. Any argument with that?
No comment.
Well, you get how it had to be that way, right?
Well, you know what? Because there were times Dorothy had more than enough time to get those days in. And I am not angry.
All right,
I can't get caught up into that kind of thing.
All right, good.
But she did have the opportunity to get her days in. She
All right.
did.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right. All right, step on in here. How are you feeling coming out of the courtroom here?
I feel fine.
You have to sue your friend?
Well, you have to do what you have to do,
Mhm.
you know, and I don't hold any grudges. I just can't afford to pay someone to go on a vacation,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know?
How come your friends haven't taken you on a vacation?
Yeah, well...
Ladies, when are you going to take her on a vacation?
We do go on vacations together. We just haven't done it recently.
All right.
All three of us have gone on vacation together.
All right. Okay. Well, enjoy. All right. See ya, Harvey.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Kurt, you know, if you make a deal with somebody and it's not a straight cash transaction, all the more reason you need to nail it down in some kind of writing, probably an email. It will protect you. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Tina Wallace. She says the defendant grabbed a big bottle of wine and smashed her in the head with it. The cops happened to pass by, took one look at her and rushed her to the hospital because she was bleeding so badly. She was out of work for 3 weeks, couldn't go to her school, and has $5,000 in hospital bills, the amount she's suing for. This is the defendant, Anissa. She says she was in the plaintiff's car. They got into an argument, and the plaintiff pulled over on a dark highway and told her to get out. The plaintiff was the one who took a swing at her with the wine bottle, and she simply blocked it, and it bumped into the plaintiff's cheek. It was self-defense, and if anyone's owed anything, it's her. She's accused of being a real whiner. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $2,500 for lawyer's fees and time lost.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Tina Wallace, you are suing your former friend Anissa. You've asked us to refer to you only by your first name, so we'll respect that, for $5,000 in medical bills and other damages, because according to you, she assaulted you. You have a counterclaim against her for $2,500 for attorney's fees because you say she falsely accused you. What happened?
Anissa was going through a lot, and I invited her out because she was going through, like, a lot. She got kicked out of her house, her apartment, her jewelry got stolen from her, and I just felt really bad for her. So I told her she can come out with me, hang out, you know,
Well,
relax.
were the two of you friends?
Yeah, we were friends.
How
We were
long had
actually-
you known each other?
Probably for like 3 months.
So you ask her to come out with you, and she does. And where do you go?
I told her she can come out with me for my friend's birthday party.
Okay.
And
so she drives to your house?
Yeah, she drives to my house.
And then everybody gets into your car?
Well, yeah, me and her, and then we go pick up my friend, and then we head to the party.
All right. Now, the party is at a nightclub at where?
It's like a lounge, yeah.
A lounge.
Bar.
All right. So you're at the party, and what happens?
We're at the party.
And how far is this lounge from your house?
Like 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
So her car's 10 minutes away.
Yes.
So you're at the party, and what happens?
We're at the party. You know, we're hanging out. There was not a lot of people at the party. So she just says, oh, you know, let's leave. There's not a lot of people here. And my friend didn't even get there yet, and she already wanted to leave. She said that, you know, let's go to her bar because she works at a bar or whatever. And I said, well, let's see how the night goes. You know, it's still early. I just want to, you know, let's just stay here for right now. My friend comes in, and whose party it was. I say happy birthday to him, and, you know, hanging out, everything's cool. I go back to her, and I say, you want to meet him? She's like, no, I don't want to meet him. I'm good. Can we go now? And I said, we just got here. He just got here. I'm not going to, like, leave right now. And she's like, well, this party's whack. I don't want to be here. You know.
How long, at this point, how long have you been
Probably
there?
like 45 minutes.
Okay.
At this point. So I told her, we'll leave in a few minutes.
I mean, at this point, when it starts to get uncomfortable, why don't you just get in your car, drive her 10 minutes, and then she can go, and then you can come
Yeah,
back. I don't
that's-
understand why you
well-
didn't solve it this way.
Well, 'cause I
instead of
just-
ending up in the hospital and arrested.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know.
was
My
gonna
idea
do.
sounds better right now, doesn't it? All right, go ahead.
So that's what I was going to do. So I told her, I was like, I got kind of tired of her, you know, just like harassing me, how she wanted to leave. So I was like, okay, here's my keys, wait in the car, and I'm going to come in a few minutes. So I told her wait in the car. She waited. She came probably like 10 minutes later, came back into the bar, and I saw my car parked outside, and she said, oh, I want to go right now. And when I saw my car parked outside, I was like, okay, me and her have to talk because, you know, you're not supposed to touch my car. Like,
you gave her the keys just to get in the car?
Just to get in the car and wait for me. I didn't tell her to park my car.
Well, how much time had passed at that point?
Probably like 10 minutes.
Okay.
So I went into the car. Me and her both went into the car. We started heading on a Wanto Parkway. And I said, you know, what was wrong with you? Did you see somebody you don't like? Or, you know, you saw an ex-boyfriend? Like, what's wrong? Because
I doubt it was quite that civilized, but go ahead.
Yeah, like, normally she doesn't act like that. She's a nice person. So she was like, well, I didn't want to hang out with you and your corny friends. I'm not used to hanging out with people like you, whatever. So I then was like, well, then if, you know, you don't like me and my friends, then you don't have to hang out with me. You know, it's done. So she was like, all of a sudden, she was like, oh, why are you getting all gangster? Why are you getting all hard or whatever? And then she mushes me in my head while I'm driving.
What's mushes me in my head?
She goes like that to me while I'm driving.
Do it to Douglas. I want to know exactly what you mean. Because I have an idea in my head, but I want to make sure I know what I'm doing.
Oh, wow.
I know what I'm thinking right.
Just be easy. Be easy.
All right. She goes like this.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and she does it twice.
While you're driving?
While I'm driving.
Okay, go on.
So then I pull over to the side of the road, and I told her to get out my car. So she was like, well, I'm not getting out the car, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, all right, cool. So I counted down. I said, well, you have 3 seconds to get out my car. So I counted to 2, and she already picked up the bottle that was in my car. I had a huge wine bottle that was in my car.
What was a wine bottle doing inside of your car?
Because usually before we go out to clubs, we usually pregame in the car. And
yeah, but isn't it, don't you have laws about having open containers inside the cabin of the vehicle?
Yeah, we do.
That's a bad idea.
I know, that was a bad idea.
For many reasons. It turns out to be a very bad idea because apparently in your world it's a weapon too.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So at 2, she takes the bottle. I wasn't even paying attention. She takes the bottle and she hits me over the head with it one time. It didn't break, and then she hit me over the head again with it, and it broke over my face. And at that time, I didn't know how like bad it was. So then me and her just started fighting, and then we was fighting we probably fighting for a good 5 minutes, and then it was not going nowhere. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to drop you to your car, and we're going to settle it at my house.
I just can't even imagine. According to you, I'm sure you have a very different version, and I'll be with you in 1 second. But she's a plaintiff, so she goes first. That's the court rules. What I don't understand is I'm trying to be a fly on the wall of that car. You're fighting inside the car, and then what? And then you put the car into gear and just drive?
No, I was like, well, let go of my hair. We were like
let go of my hair while I drive you home?
No. Just like let go of me, and then we'll just go home because we weren't getting anywhere. We were just fighting, and I really wanted to get home. We shouldn't be fighting. We're older, like, you know, it's really
you're
immature.
You're a little big for this, aren't you?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
And how old are you?
32.
Yeah, you're a little old for this.
Yeah.
A little ripe.
Yeah.
For this kind of stuff. Go ahead.
So we start driving, and then she calls the cops on me, and she tells the cop, oh, I want to report a drunk driver. She describes my car to the operator. So I was like, you really going to call the cops on me after you just hit me over the head with a bottle? I'm like, wow, okay. So we get onto the Southern State Parkway. I already see a cop car pull somebody else over. So I went up to him, and I told...
Okay, before we get into the cop part, I want to hear your version on the fight part.
What happened was I parked at her house, I got in her car. When I got in her car, she had a bottle of wine in there already. When she picked up her friend had a bottle of Hennessy with her. So everyone was drinking, okay? Now
Were you drinking too?
I didn't have any wine. I had shots when I got to the club. So when we got to the club, I ordered the first round of shots. These were her friends, and I respected that. They were a younger crowd than me. It wasn't 15 minutes I asked her to go. It was past an hour. I said to her, you know, can you take me to my car? You can come back. You're 10 minutes away. You can come back. She didn't want to leave. I still waited. I waited.
By the time you left, how long had you been there?
I want to say it was almost 2 hours.
Okay.
All I wanted her to do was drop me to my car. I just felt, you know, it was a younger crowd. She was drinking a lot. She was drinking a lot.
Well, so I wouldn't want her to drive me to my car if she's drinking a lot.
Right.
I would want to call a cab.
I understand.
I know you got to pay a few bucks, but wouldn't that, or call a friend or something?
Right.
So why are you getting in the car with someone who you know is drinking a lot and is drunk? Are you crazy?
I didn't think she was drunk or anything. We were there for 2 hours, so I got in the car. She got on the Wanto Parkway. She was really pissed off because I pulled her away from her party, and I understood. We got into a heated argument. I called the police over 3 times.
And what were you telling the police?
And it was all recorded. I took it to court
Do
with
you have
me
the
and everything.
recordings?
No, because the
Okay,
court
what
wouldn't
did
give
you
it to me.
what did you say on the recording?
What I told them, they were trying to figure out my location because she pulled her car over. I had on a dress and heels, and I said to her...
And she's telling you to get out?
She's telling me to get out, and I said to her, I'm not getting out until I see the cop lights. So the police
So when you're calling the police, you're calling the police
She pulled back out.
Wait. You're calling the police to say what?
To tell them to come pick me up. She was kicking me out the car.
Okay.
So
the first time you call the police, the car is not driving. The car is pulled over and
Yes.
she's ordering you out of the car,
Yes.
according to you.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead.
And I told her, I said, I'm not getting out your car until the police gets here. Then what she did was she kept driving out and pulling back. Like, we just kept arguing. So she drove out, she parked again.
You're pulling over, she's pulling out and pulling over, pulling out and
Yes.
pulling over?
Mm-hmm.
But why? She's changing her mind about whether she's kicking you out?
What happened was she thought I was calling the police on her. She
Well,
kept
she
crying.
says that you're sitting 2 inches from her and saying, I want to report a drunk driver.
No, I didn't
Because you're
say
so
that.
mad.
I didn't say that. I didn't tell the police that. And because they reviewed it in court. And my attorney listened to it, the DA listened to it, and that's why I beat the case, because...
Why would your beating the case of assault with a bottle, because what? Because then they found her to be a liar? Is that what you're saying? What happened to your case in court? She says you picked up a bottle and smacked her across the head and she got stitches.
Okay, but is
What
she
do you
saying
say
that I hit her twice
What do
with
you
the
say
bottle?
happened? What do you say happened?
What happened was I was calling the police. They were trying to figure out my location. I had no idea. Then she picked up the bottle to throw it out the window because she thought I was calling the police on her because she was drunk. I told the police at the third phone call, I told them, I said, yes, she's drunk. That's when I told them that she was drunk. What ended up happening was I pushed the bottle to her face because I was on the phone. I didn't want a bottle coming in my face, so I pushed it. Yes, I did.
You pushed a bottle to her face. What was she doing with the bottle?
She lifted up the bottle. When she lifted up the bottle, I saw the bottle, and I pushed it.
Okay, why?
Because she picked up the bottle. I had no idea why she picked up the bottle.
Okay.
I saw a bottle coming to me, so I pushed the bottle.
And when you push a bottle, it cut her face.
I never hit her twice in the head, as she's saying.
Okay, so it cut her face, and then what happened with the bottle?
She threw the bottle out the window.
After it cut her face?
Yeah, she threw the bottle out the window because she thought I was calling the police on her. Then she continued driving. When she continued driving, there was a police car that pulled another car over. She got out the car and told them that I hit her, and they took a statement from me. They took a statement from her.
You got arrested?
She got arrested as well.
What did you get arrested for?
They told me, they didn't even arrest me there. They took me down to the station. They wanted me to write a statement out. I wrote the statement out.
Do you have a copy of that statement?
No.
What did you get arrested for?
They didn't arrest me. They gave me a desk appearance ticket.
Okay, what did you get charged with?
Assault. They said that they don't know who
with a
hit
deadly
who.
weapon?
I don't know.
Okay. You don't have the paperwork for the criminal case?
No. My attorney has it.
Okay. Now, you got arrested too, she says.
Yes.
What did you get arrested for?
For DWI.
DWI. What happened to your case?
I went to court. They sentenced me with a violation because I was
What violation?
They just lowered it down to
what?
To a violation.
What violation?
Oh, I don't know. Like that's
You
what my
don't
lawyer.
know.
Yeah.
Let
that's
me
my
see
lawyer.
your paperwork.
I don't. Let me see if I have something. I don't.
While you're looking, what did yours also got pled
Right,
down?
I just had to.
What did it get pled down to? What was the charge?
They charged me for like a parking violation.
A parking violation? You didn't even have a car.
Because but that's what they charged me for. It was a $385 ticket.
No, but you're not even driving the car. How can it be a parking thing? You're not even driving. How can? I mean, I don't get it.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that they brought it down to a violation. I wasn't charged.
And you don't
for
know what the
anything.
violation is either.
No,
because you didn't bring your paperwork. Did you bring your paperwork?
No, I don't
So
have
neither one of you know what it is that you pled guilty to.
No, I pled guilty to a DWI.
So you pled guilty to what you got charged with.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening to you in court?
I had to do 35 hours of community service. I had to go to an outpatient program, and my license was suspended for 90 days.
Okay. What happened to you as a result of what you're saying?
Absolutely nothing. I got charged for a fine.
How much did you? That's what I'm asking. What was the
$385
penalty?
was the fine.
$385.
Yeah, it was like $185 plus $75 plus.
Right. Now you have a counterclaim for $2,500, $500 for time lost. What are you referring to? Back and forth to court?
Yes.
And
missing
$2,000
work.
for your attorney's fees. Did you
My
pay?
attorney charged me $2,000 for the case.
Do you have proof of that?
No, he just told me to tell you to call him.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. Ask him if he wants dinner later, too. Okay. Now, that night, I have to imagine that both of you are making statements to the police. Do either of you have the police reports from that night so that I can see the statements that you made then?
I don't have it on me.
You have it at home?
Yes, it's at home.
Awesome.
I know.
You have it at home.
I thought
but I'm not important enough for you to look for them to bring them to me. Do you have the police reports with you?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay. Now, when you end up in the hospital, that is also a place where people are taking statements, the nurses, the doctors, and they're usually, I know you have a hospital bill, just the money part, but I don't see the actual medical records that I would love to see because those would include your statements to the doctors and the nurses. Do you have any of the actual medical hospital records?
No, I do not. I mean, I have pictures. I don't have...
Okay. Let me see the pictures.
Okay.
What is that?
It's a bruise on my arm.
On your arm? But it's also a cut, isn't it?
It's a cut, yeah.
How'd that happen?
The bottle, it shattered.
What did the bottle shatter on? Your face?
My face, yeah. Yeah.
Is this the first physical fight you get into in your life, or not so much?
I don't get into fights.
I get into fights. Have you gotten into other ones? I'm not going to ask you about them.
Little
I'm just curious.
scuffles, not
I just want to know, like, how out of the ordinary of your life this event was or not. Have you gotten into fist fights before? Here's my bet. Both of you have. This is not your first rodeo.
Yeah.
I think that it's time for both of you to grow up a little because you don't understand how close this came to an irreversible catastrophe. Because but for the grace of God and a few, not even a few, an inch, you would have been blinded. This is yet another reason why an open container bottle shouldn't be inside the cab of your vehicle. If in fact these are the kind of lives you lead, that people could end up getting so angry at each other that something like this could happen. Let me see your hospital bills. Court is in recess.
All rise. And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So how many glasses of wine would a fairly small woman have to drink before you would refuse to drive home with her?
3 glasses, I think.
3 glasses of wine. Okay, that sounds about right. What do you think?
I would say by the 4th glass, I'd be afraid to drive with her.
Okay, anybody think more than 4 is okay? Anybody here?
No.
How many would you say?
I'm gonna go with 2.
I would go with 2 as well. I would go with 2 as well. I think you're the smart one here. We're going inside the courtroom.
I don't know what happened in that car. And I have nothing to sink my teeth into to try to make it tip one way or another. I don't have police reports to look at where I can see if one of you's lying about something. I don't have hospital statements to look at where I can see if there were consistent statements made on the night of the offense that are all consistent with today. I don't have anything else to look at but the 2 of you, which, quite frankly, neither of whom I really trust. I can't trust you for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is your judgment calls on that evening. But you're both drinking, you're both doing shots, you're pre-drinking and drinking, so I can't even trust your testimony, even if I trusted you guys, which I don't, okay? That puts, of the 2 of you, you in a difficult situation in your lawsuit against her, because when you come into court, you're the one who has to prove your case by a preponderance of the evidence, and I find that under these circumstances, I just don't know. I don't know whether the bottle breaking over your head would do a hell of a lot more damage than that split that required 2 or 3 stitches. I think it probably would. And I would imagine that knocking the bottle into you might probably do that, but I don't know. I don't know. Okay? And you, on your claim against her, needless to say, 0, even if you did bring the attorney's bills, which you didn't. You brought 0 proof of anything that you're counterclaiming, so that there's absolutely no question about. And you pled guilty to something, so why would she have to pay for your attorney's fees? It makes no sense. On your claim against her, 0. On her claim against you, 0. Good luck, ladies.
Hold it right there, ladies. Just 1 second, please.
Okay.
So coming out of this is the plaintiff, 0 on her claim. What's your reaction coming out of the courtroom after that whole story?
I'm just glad it's over.
How embarrassed are you right now to look at people after hearing this whole story told on national television that you just told?
I am embarrassed, but whatever.
You are?
Yeah.
By what?
The whole situation, it was just stupid.
What are you doing hanging out with her anyway?
I don't know, bad judgment.
All right, don't wish Douglas on the way out. Just keep going.
I don't really have any comment for you, so thank you.
You're welcome. Harvey?
You know, this has always seemed crazy to me. You think that if you say to somebody, gee, I'm not going to drive home with you, they're going to be insulted and it's going to end a friendship. It will not end a friendship once they get sober. And if they get sober and they're still mad, they're not worth having as friends because they're too stupid. But what it could do, if you get in the car because you're worried about etiquette, it could actually end your life. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Laura McPherson. She says she babysat the defendant's kids. They agreed on a salary, and the woman turned around and stiffed her. That's right. She refuses to pay her. Her boyfriend was downright rude to her, and she has no other choice but to sue the ungrateful lady for the $144 she's owed. This is the defendant, Carrie Ann Thompson. She says the plaintiff simply proved to be unreliable, never really did any work for her, and she eventually moved on and got someone else. She certainly doesn't owe the plaintiff a penny, and she'll do everything in her power to prove it to the judge today. She's accused of bumming out the babysitter.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Laura Mae McPherson, you are suing Carrie Ann Thompson for $144 in unpaid salary that you say she owes you for 6 days of work where you worked for her picking up her kids. Tell me what, and taking care of them. What's going on?
Well, I started working for the defendant on the 6th of the 10th. The agreement was she was supposed
on the 6th of the 10th, June 10th, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
She was supposed to pay me $120 every 5 days to take the kids off the bus, give them their meals, and help with their homework and showers. And I did, but when I was supposed to get paid, she called me and said, I'm not getting paid today, I'm getting paid the next Friday. So I went to work the next day, and then I decided that I'm not going back. That was not the agreement.
Stop. How long had you been taking care of the kids when you got that phone call?
From the 6th of the 10th until August.
So for 2 months you've been taking care of the kids and everything was fine?
Yeah.
You were paid weekly?
Yes.
Every week? And then one fine week, 2 months into the job, she calls you on the day she's supposed to pay you, which is Friday, and tells you they changed how she gets paid?
Yes, that her job is no longer temporary. It's going to be more permanent.
So she gets paid every 2 weeks, so now you're going to get paid every 2 weeks?
Yes.
And you never agreed to that?
No.
You were expecting your money that week?
Yes.
All right, so what happened?
So that was a Thursday when I was supposed to get paid, and I went to work on the Friday because sometimes her boyfriend paid me, so I went expecting that maybe he would pay me. But when I went the Friday, I didn't get paid, so I decided not to return.
Okay, and how did you tell her? That's it, I don't work for free.
I texted her. That's how we usually communicate.
And what did you text her?
She texted me, don't forget Kayla is coming home like 2:30. So I told her that.
Wait, on the Monday?
I honestly don't remember if it's a Monday.
Okay, when did you tell her I'm not picking your kids up on Monday? Did you tell her on Monday itself, the same day?
Yes.
Because why didn't you just tell her on Friday night or Saturday or Sunday? Because she didn't do you any favors, so why should you do her any favors?
I guess.
Okay, so then on Monday she texts you and she says to you, don't forget blah, 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 and you say...
I just told her that I won't be able to make it, so she was upset.
I mean, weren't you worried? Those kids are going to get dropped off at a bus stop. I mean, how old are the kids?
5 and 9.
So, I mean, when there's nobody there to pick them up, what would happen? You didn't really care? I mean, it's the kids who were suffering there, not her. I mean, I guess she'd suffer vicariously, but...
I didn't think of that.
You didn't think it through, did you?
No,
Not much of a
no,
caretaker, are you? How old are you?
23.
Okay. So what was your plan? What did you think would happen with the children when you weren't going to show up and you didn't tell her you weren't going to show up? I understand quitting. I don't understand waiting till 2 o'clock or 12 o'clock on Monday to let her know. When did you let her know Monday?
Maybe like 2 hours before.
Yeah, that's the part I don't understand. And if she hadn't texted you, you weren't planning on letting her know at all. So just tell me, what did you think would happen with those 2 little kids who are innocent?
Someone else would get them?
Who? The bus driver has other kids to drop off. What's going to happen? Where are your kids dropped off?
They were dropped off at the house.
Oh, at the house itself?
Yes.
So there would be no adult. What would the bus driver have done if there was no adult? Did the bus driver wait for somebody to open the door and everything, or no?
No. I believe they would take them to the police station. They would go to the station.
All right, so then what ends up happening is you get a text with her saying, I'm not coming to work because you didn't pay her. And what do you end up doing? You call another friend
Yes, and the friend was at work. She was in Brooklyn, so she decided that she would leave work, but I would have to pay her because she was going to be missing pay. So I had to pay her $70.
$70. You have an affidavit from that person saying that you in fact paid her $70 to take care of business that day.
Yes.
What'd you do the next day?
The next day, I stayed home from work. But actually, can I just go over how everything? When I hired her, the agreement was I was going to pay her $100, $20 for transportation. She
So
agreed.
$120 a week to take care of your kids every day from when to when?
She would pick them up off the bus.
Which is at what time?
Usually my daughter would get home at 5:30, and my son would get home at 3:30. And then my oldest son would get home, and I told her once my son is home, she can leave.
What time does your son get home?
My son get home at 4.
How old's your oldest son?
He's 13.
Okay, and so you would leave him in charge of the other two kids?
There's a lady downstairs also. She would
So
be
you would
home
tell her,
at-
but see, in your answer to the complaint, you said she had no set time to leave.
There was no set time, but I told her she could leave. She could leave.
And did you ever leave at 4 o'clock?
No.
You were there till much later than 4
8
o'clock.
or 10 o'clock whenever she came
8
home
or
at
10
night.
o'clock. And you
Yes.
never said in your answer to the complaint that she could leave when a 13-year-old showed up. What you said was, until I got home, she would watch them until 6 p.m. or until I got home from work.
That's when I was.
There were no set hours to how long she worked. Never once did you say, she was off and running at 4 in the afternoon.
No.
Because that sounds like very little pay for taking care of kids from the time they
She
get
was
home from
not
school
doing
till
any.
10 o'clock at night.
She was not doing anything with the children.
Either way, what you got your work changed how you got paid.
Yes, actually, I was working temporary for a company. My hours were different.
I don't really care. The bottom line is your job changed how you got paid.
Yes.
And now you weren't getting paid every week. You were getting paid every 2 weeks.
Yes, and I
so
did.
So you tell her the same day she's expecting money.
No, I did not.
When do you tell her?
I told her I was offered the position 2 weeks before I was hired. When I came home, I sat down and spoke with her in my living room, and I told her the job I'm working is a temporary job. I will be getting hired within the next 2 weeks, and now the pay is not going to be weekly. It's going to be bi-weekly. She agreed. However, she never had to wait 2 weeks to get paid. My boyfriend would pay her because he get paid on
Okay, so
Thursday.
then the week in question, she quit because she didn't get paid.
No. When I get home, she's not there because my boyfriend will let her go home.
Mm-hmm.
She left the Wednesday. She never came back on the Wednesday. She never came back. She was supposed to work the Thursday, the Friday. She did not come back on the Thursday. She did not come back on the Friday. The girl downstairs was the one who take care of the children for me those 2 days. And it was on a Wednesday.
The girl who you paid $70 to, you're saying you paid her on Wednesday?
No, that's not the girl. That's someone else. Because on the Wednesday, which was the 8th of September, when I text her at 1:30, reminding her, remember Kayla will be home at about 2:30.
Okay, that was the 8th of September was a Thursday, not a Wednesday.
It was on the.
It was a Thursday.
The children
I'm looking
went
at the
back- on
calendar.
Thursday.
The 8th
I'm
of
sorry.
September 2011
It was on the
was a
Thursday.
Thursday.
All the children went back out to school, and
Okay.
that's when I text her, and she
Okay.
told me she wasn't coming.
Okay.
And I asked her, how can you choose to tell me this at the last minute?
Okay. At that point, what did you owe her?
I owe her for the 3 days, the Monday to Tuesday and the Wednesday that she worked.
But why would she quit on a Wednesday? Wednesday's not the payday.
No, she usually get paid on a Wednesday. That's when I was getting paid when I was with the agency.
She would get paid for a week on a Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay, so then by that point you owed her a week.
Because she worked the Thursday
And she
to
didn't
Friday.
get paid, and you're saying she knew she wouldn't get paid and she was fine with it. But
Yes.
then why was she not fine with it if she was fine with it?
Because
Doesn't make sense.
her complaint was she was getting paid on the 6th day, not the 5th day. She now said she was getting paid.
Okay, at some point you guys discuss paying her the week that you owe her. And you tell her that you're going to pay her, and you tell her to meet you.
Yes.
What happened there?
I was in the hospital. I went to the hospital. I don't know if she showed up. I was not at the house. My kids were at the house.
Did you show up?
Yes, I did.
And was anybody there to pay you?
No.
What is your defense to paying her for the week that you agree you didn't pay her?
I told her to return the keys. When she did not return, on the Sunday when I was in the hospital, I spoke with her after that. The grandmother called my phone, screaming, yelling at me, and I explained to her, I told her to bring me the keys, and she'll get
She's
her
not going to
pay.
leave you the keys until you pay her.
She never came to the house. She had the keys.
No, she came to the house. You were in the hospital.
No, she got a phone call because the lady from the church knew that I was in the hospital. The lady called her grandmother and told her I was in the hospital. I spoke with her. I spoke with the lady from the church, because she kept texting me, cursing at me, and I said I did not
Yeah, but at
want
that
to
point,
speak
she's
to her.
cursing at you because she's at your house.
No, that's not when
you're
she started cursing at me.
She
That's
told
not
me
when she
that I
started
have
cursing at
AIDS,
me.
which is
She told you
not-
that you what?
That I look like I have AIDS, which is not a fact, and I did not like that.
No, I did not say that to her.
You said that you're so skinny and scrawny, you look like you have AIDS.
I did not say that.
Did she text that to you, or did? Oh.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, does the child care provider have to give reasonable notice, even if it's not in the contract, before they just up and quit?
Yes.
Why?
Because it can cause all types of catastrophes.
Well, it can cause all types of catastrophes, but if it's not in the contract, are you stuck?
I think it's just, you need to be responsible and tell them at least 24 hours ahead notice.
But that's not in the contract. So if it's not in the contract, are you just, is it you out of luck? The daycare provider says, I'm just not doing it today.
Well, actually, if it's not in the contract, I can fully agree. However, it's a matter of decency that they do give you notice.
And sometimes decency does not prevail in the law. Going inside the courtroom.
You, the low-life, nasty cranny AB, look like you have AIDS.
Let me see. Are you as truthful about that as you are about everything else?
I did not text her anything. I did not text her that.
Well, unless your number have changed.
You, the low-life, nasty cranny?
It's Jamaican. It means that I'm skinny.
Oh, okay. Granny. You know what? None of my Jamaican friends have ever called me that. Can't imagine. What is your defense to paying the lady the week that you owed her?
I asked her to return the keys. I told her once the keys was returned, she would get her pay. Her grandmother called me on the Sunday, threatening me, telling me I need to pay her. And I told her, I said to her, I asked her to return the keys. Her grandmother
She's not returning the keys till you pay her. She went to collect to go get paid, and you were in the hospital. I'm sorry you were in the hospital, but you didn't leave anybody $144 to pay her while she was there. You're not even answering the door. She's standing out there texting you, and then you tell me somebody else told her grandmother that not to bother continuing to wait. That's not calling her off and telling her not to show up. That's not making arrangements to pay her, and that only proves to me you owe her. I have one question in front of me, not who has manners. My only question is, do you owe her $144?
No, I don't.
You admit you owe her $144.
No, I don't owe her $144.
Why? Because you had to change a locks?
No, because
now you have bad blood with somebody who you're not paying?
I never paid her $144.
I know, that's why we're here.
Her pay was $120 weekly.
Except for that, according to her and you, there were 6 days. And she didn't want to wait 6 days to get paid. Were there 5 days you worked and didn't get paid, or 6 days you worked?
From the 8th of the 26th to the 9th of the 1st, that's 5 days, and then I went to work on the 2nd, so...
She did not work on the 2nd.
I came to work on the 2nd. That was the last day I worked for you.
You did not come to work on the 2nd.
The 9th.
The 2nd of what? September? All right. I'm ordering you to pay the plaintiff the $144. Verdict for the plaintiff. Plus your court costs.
She sued for $144, and she got $144 from you. Step in here. What's your reaction coming out with the L?
First of all, it was unfair because she was not working for $144. She was working for $100, and I was giving her $20 extra.
Mm-hmm. So she deserved the money. She just asked for a little too much.
She deserved the money, but I asked her to return my keys, and her grandmother did threaten that she was going to bring somebody to my house, and that's when I had to change the locks on my door.
Mm-hmm.
So I was forced to change the locks.
You really felt threatened?
Yes.
But what did you think was going to happen?
The grandmother had no business in that. It was her. I asked her to bring the keys, and she would get her money. There was no other way for me to get the keys from my house unless she come to my house to give me the keys and for me to give her her pay.
Ma'am,
All right, so you got everything you sued for?
Yes, I did.
All right. How tough was that to come into court and fight for that? It's not a lot of money, really.
It's the principle. I worked and I want my money, and she's a liar. No one threatened her. Oh, my God.
Harvey?
It's really important when you sign one of these child care agreements to read it and know what the responsibilities are of each party. And remember, you can negotiate all of the terms. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Matthew Greminger. He says he rents out studio space for singers and songwriters to record their tracks and had a contract with the defendant for 6 months. Everything was fine for the first few months. Then his equipment started to disappear and his studio stunk from pot. His landlord started complaining, and it became an issue. And a short time later, the defendant vanished. The guy still owes him per their agreement. Can't just run away from his responsibilities, so he's suing for the $2,324.99 he is still owed. This is the defendant, Marshawn Minter. He says the plaintiff was the one who locked him out by changing the security system and locks to the studio. Now the guy's suing him for rent when it was impossible for him or his musicians to get in? Is he serious? The plaintiff broke the contract. It's that simple. He's accused of having too much fun at work.
Thank you, Douglas. Matthew Greminger and Gremmin M Studio Entertainment. You are suing Marshawn Minter, doing business as Live Life Fresh Entertainment. Okay. You are suing them for $2,324.99 in damages for rent you say is owed to you, late fees, and the cost to upgrade equipment.
Yes, ma'am.
On a tenancy that you say he has defaulted on. Tell me what's going on.
On April 4th, I went into an agreement with Mr. Minter. I have an entertainment company, and I lease out, on a shared agreement, the space when I'm not using it. I have a scheduling system that's implemented, and it's in the contract that if I'm using it, he doesn't book a session. If he's booking a session, I don't book a session. And a friend of mine referred Marshawn to me and said, you know, he's looking for a tenant.
And what do people do in this space? What do you mean?
Record demos and songs and things of that nature. Marshawn said, I'll agree to go into the contract if you upgrade your equipment. And I agreed to do that.
Okay.
And
at his cost or at your cost?
At my cost.
Okay, but you're suing him now for that. Why?
Well, it was he said that was the only way he'd sign the agreement. Because
Right.
I'd had people in the past.
But why does
sign
that
the
mean he has
agreement.
to pay for it if you just said it was at your cost?
Well, the only reason is because I got the equipment to.
I know, but at the time that you got the agreement, when I ask you who's supposed to pay for it, you go, I am. Well, then why are you suing him for it? Because you're mad at him?
Well,
okay, I think I got my answer. All right, so move on. So now, when do you have a written contract with him?
Yes.
May I see it?
Mm-hmm.
So he signs this agreement. He's going to pay you $500 a month.
Yes, ma'am. When the first 2 months, he paid on time and everything was going good. The third month, I only received half a payment.
That's half of June that you're suing for.
Yes.
And then July, August, and September rent. Were you calling him to get rent all those months?
I called. I was calling for a while. And then after a while, he just stopped answering my calls. And I'd call, every couple days and said,
Did you have some other problem with him as well?
Well, the building manager had come to me several times and said that there were people from my studio in the hallways and in the lobby loitering and distracting other people and causing commotion. And he said on a couple occasions that there were people in the parking lot that were coming out and in and out of my studio that were smoking marijuana.
So had you ever broached that with him?
I mentioned it. I
Was
said
that before June and he stopped paying, or
that
after?
was before June.
It was before June. So you guys squared that away and there was no problem with that?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. According to you, he locked you out, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
The way I arranged it, I said my business partner is going to bring you the first half of June.
Oh, first half. Well,
yes.
what happened in the second half?
We went through phone tag. I called him. He didn't answer. He called me. He missed me. I didn't answer. Then he said he was going out of town, and when he came back, he had talked to me then. And then when he came back out of town, I get a phone call and said, he's saying, Mr. Greminger saying somebody broke into the studio, some equipment was missing.
What happened there?
There was a break-in, a breach of security at the studio.
What breach of security is a conclusion on your part? What actually happened? A break-in? Like the door was broken? What happened?
The door wasn't broken. The alarm system went off, and but it wasn't broken. So somebody with a key entered without
While an alarm was on.
Right.
Who doesn't have the code?
There's only
the two of you have the code.
Well, it's actually a remote that turns it on and off, and the keys.
So whoever
the keys will
didn't
open
have
the door.
Remote, and the two of you have the remote.
Right. Well, I had a remote, and
he had a remote, right?
The remote that he had, he gave to the engineer.
So who came in?
I don't know.
Okay, and so was anything stolen?
To the best of my knowledge, no.
Okay.
We searched and nothing that we could
Okay, so what
find
happened?
was
Why are you paying rent? What's going on?
First, he accused us of these accusations.
What accusations? Nothing was stolen. So what's the accusation?
He called me on the phone and he said there was some stuff that happened in the studio. Some items came up missing, and then also
Okay, did you tell him stuff was missing?
No, I never said anything about missing. I said somebody entered the studio and the alarm went off, and I was asking, were you at the studio? Did you come in?
Okay, so you didn't like that because you felt it was accusatory. And what else?
We actually tried to go into the studio because we had a session and they couldn't get in.
Why?
Because the doors were locked, the security system was changed. The keys didn't work.
Did you change your security system when they were behind?
Not in June. It was a couple months down the line.
How many months down the line?
It was about the end of July. I changed the locks.
The end of July. Is the timing there correct?
No, because we tried to use the studio.
What date was it? Show me the recorded time that you had slotted. Do you have the printout from the internet?
I don't have the printout from the internet.
And then so you tried to use it. You say it was earlier than the end of July. He says it was July. You agree that you locked out the person you're subletting to?
I was trying to contact him to say, look, if you pay your rent, I have the key to the new lock.
I know, that's what we call an illegal lockout.
Well,
So can a landlord change the locks if a tenant stops paying rent?
No, he can't do that.
Anybody think he can do that?
Yeah, sure, why not? He owns the place. You're not paying. Get out.
We will just find out about that going inside the courtroom.
if it wasn't him that had went into the studio and gotten in, that's why it was important that I changed the locks in case somebody else had.
Oh, that's not why you changed it. I changed the locks because the guy wasn't paying you rent. What did you?
Well, at the time,
that was funny though. You like that?
There was one
you
other
like
person.
That? Yeah, right. Come on, you changed the lock for the same reason any other person would have changed the locks if they decided to not follow the law. And the only reason people do that is because the person isn't paying rent. Why should they get to record there if they're not paying rent? Makes perfect, karma sense. It's just that it's not legal. Mm-hmm. And if you're angry about whatever it is your landlord's not treating you with respect, or there's accusations of stuff that your employees, friends, associates, whatever are doing that you feel are false, plus coupled with the little discomfort of him asking you, did somebody come in here who wasn't supposed, whatever it is that you don't like, you have an out in your lease. The out in your lease is to pay 1 month and give notice. That's it. That's all you got to do. But you didn't do that. You just you say, well, you did nothing is what you didn't pay the other half of June, and then you didn't pay July. The best case scenario for you is it's July when he goes there, because you admit to July changing the locks. But you're suing for half of June, July, August, and September when you've locked them out.
Well, that's why I did try, and I left voicemails saying I changed the locks, I have the keys that you can pick up.
Is that accurate?
I never got a call saying that.
Can you prove what you just said? Anyway, like a text, an email. Let me show you guys how it's done. People come into court with something other than their flapping gums and their empty pockets. They bring me evidence. And here's how the evidence works. It's super clear. You guys email each other and text each other every time you take a breath, your generation. But I don't have one single text or email from either one of you about this situation, do I? I'm going to order you to pay the rest of June, like you should have. I know you were in there in June. I'm going to order you to pay half of July. I'm going to order the defendant to pay the plaintiff the sum of $500 in this lawsuit. Verdict for the plaintiff. That's because you changed the locks. If you had any evidence of what you were saying, it would be oh so cool.
Yeah.
But you don't. Certified letter, email, text, anything.
All right, just hold on right there, guys, please.
All right, so let's see what the defendant has to say. Plaintiff will be collecting a little bit on you. What's your reaction to this?
I really don't think that he should collect anything because, for one, he locked us out, and I couldn't use the studio. So, why should I have to pay anything on something that I can't use?
Well, you used it in June, right?
We used it a part of June, but part of June was paid for. So part of June. The later half,
What happened to the stuff? Stuff disappeared there, or there was a break-in? What do you think happened there?
I have no idea what happened. So he claimed. He said that he was going to set up something to where he could sit down, and he said he actually had footage of something happening. So he said he was going to sit down, set up a meeting and sit down with us, so he could show me what's actually going on. Never got that call. That never happened.
All right. Documents are waiting for you there at the end of the hallway there.
All right, so step in. Are you satisfied with what you came out with?
I feel like he did owe till the end of the contract. I did try to contact him about.
Well, the judge gave you a little lesson in the law there?
Yeah. I should have, I wasn't trying to lock him up, but I should have gotten some sort of record or recording of what I sent him.
Yeah, should have. No evidence, but so what do you produce in the studio there? And anything good? Anybody good?
Music.
Anything?
I've worked with some pretty cool artists in Cleveland.
All right, well,
Mostly,
good luck.
yes.
Harvey?
Okay, so you should know that it is a cardinal sin for a landlord to change the locks, even if the tenant really did the landlord wrong. And in some states, there is actually a provision for punitive damages or double or triple damages that the tenant actually suffers if the landlord does it. It's that serious a thing that the legislators wanted to make sure that landlords simply don't do it.
This is the plaintiff, Terry Johnson. She says the double-crossing defendant owes her commission for an apartment she found her, and she needs the judge's help getting it. The sneaky woman bounced a check on her twice and refuses to pay her as required by law, and she's suing the scoundrel for the $962 she's owed. This is the defendant, Karen Bowers. She says she ended up doing most of the negotiating on the apartment. The plaintiff really didn't do a thing, and as far as she's concerned, is owed nothing. Why should she pay the plaintiff a commission when she ended up doing most of the work? Besides, the place wasn't even livable at the time she was ready to move in, and she isn't gonna pay the woman for doing nothing. She's accused of stiffing a broker.
Terry Johnson, you are suing Karen Bowers for $962, your broker's fee and bounce check fee, because she paid you the broker's fee and the check bounce. All right, what's going on?
Good morning, Judge Milian. On the 13th, I had an ad running for a one-bedroom apartment in Copiac, and Miss Bowers answered the ad. I showed it to her that evening, actually.
You own the place or you're a broker?
I'm the broker.
Okay,
Sorry,
are
I'm
you a
a
licensed broker?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Specializing in rentals.
Okay.
So I took her to see the one-bedroom apartment, and she loved it, absolutely loved it, head over heels for it. I explained to her, and it was in my advertising, that the landlord was willing to paint or reimburse for paint, that the apartment would be available for October 1st. She said that was fine. I explained to her the fees involved, and we would have to meet tomorrow,
Your
of course.
fees?
Correct, the fees.
Okay. And your fees are?
1 month.
Okay.
1 month for the broker, 1 month security, and then you pay the first month's rent upon your move-in.
Okay.
She then expressed a little bit of an urgency to move in sooner.
Okay.
The landlord said it might be a little bit difficult. You're talking only 3 days away. So she said, look, my son will paint. He will do whatever is necessary. And she said, fine, I'll reimburse you. So at that point, we're set pretty much for the 15th. That's when we signed the rental agreement. She paid the broker fee. She paid the security in the form of a check. And this move-in was set for a couple days later. A couple days later, the next day, actually, I have to reverse, I'm sorry. At 8 o'clock that night, I took the check, and I went to my ATM, because I figured if she's moving in a day or two, I want to make sure this is good. So I went to the ATM, and the next day after, I checked my bank account, and it said that it was illegible, unreadable, so the deposit didn't go through. Apparently, the bank had changed names, her particular bank that the check was written. I have the check here. The original check came back to me.
Okay, so you contact her and you ask her to write a subsequent check.
She really didn't want to give me another check. And we negotiated that further. The next night, we met at the apartment again. She said, I want $40 to stop the payment on the check. So she wrote me a new check for $910 minus the $40, which was acceptable, but I said to her prior to that, please bring me proof of the stop payment. $40 seems a little bit exorbitant to me. But she didn't bring that. I just said, fine, let's get this over with. So I took the check for $910.
Okay.
That check subsequently bounced.
Okay, bounce for insufficient funds or bounce for stop payment?
Insufficient. Okay. Insufficient. The first one was...
So that's where you got charged the $12 bounce check fee?
Correct.
Show me proof of the $12 bounce check fee. What's going on, Ms. Bowers?
Good afternoon, Judge. On September 13th, I saw an ad on Craigslist.
Okay, no, I don't need to know this. I want to know what happened here, the dispute.
Oh, okay.
You saw an apartment, you liked it. Okay.
I did. I saw that.
She told you that the way it worked is that you had to pay her fee, and her fee was $950, right?
Right.
Okay.
So I went to go see the apartment. We actually saw the apartment on September 15th.
Okay.
Okay. That was the night that we met.
Okay, you're going to tell me a bunch of stuff I really don't care about?
Okay.
I want to know why you won't pay the lady. That's what this is about.
Well, because the apartment was filthy. Her and the landlady said that they were going to get people in there to clean it because I needed to move in quickly. I couldn't wait until October 1st. And 2 days later, when I went, and this had happened all around Hurricane Katrina, the apartment was still not clean. And I would call Terry, and I said, the woman, the landlord, is sick with multiple sclerosis, and she answered the door and said, I haven't had time to do anything.
Okay.
And I called Terry up, and
Well,
I
then
said,
all you have to do is don't rent the place. And then you don't have to pay her, and you don't have to pay the landlord.
No, this is after I already signed the lease.
So, yeah, the apartment may have been filthy, but does the defendant have to pay the plaintiff's commission?
If it's in the contract and they both signed it, obviously, yes.
But the plaintiff is saying that, the defendant is saying the place was so filthy that the plaintiff should never have shown it.
I'm going with what this guy said.
What do you think this is when Harry met Sally?
Yes, pretty much.
What do you think?
I agree. Like, you signed the contract.
Okay, fair enough. You're saying when you sign the contract, you're on the hook. Going inside the courtroom.
Did you end up moving into the apartment?
Well, after the
Yes or no?
15th, yes.
Okay, that's it. We're done. You understand that she is the realtor. She has a contract with you to do one thing, show you an apartment you take. She showed you the apartment and you took it. What justification do you have for cheating her out of her commission? I'm not getting it.
Okay, first of all, it's an illegal apartment. I didn't know that when I contracted a professionally, nationally known real estate agency that they would show me an illegal apartment.
Okay, what proof do you have that it's an illegal apartment?
I made one phone call, gave them the address, and they say it's just a one-family apartment.
But do you have that in writing so I can see it?
No, they couldn't give that to me because I'm
What's
not
your
a
response?
licensed
You want to
real
respond to
estate
that
agent.
since it's out there?
As far as I know, there is a rental permit on the premises.
Okay,
and it's
so if
renewed
you're
every
saying
2
there
years.
isn't one, I need you to show me that. And the way somebody in your position shows me that, because that's relevant to me, is they have the paperwork from the city saying that it's an illegal apartment. They've called the city out, the city's been there, and the city issues a citation to the owner for renting out something they can't rent out.
Okay, well, I can't show you the proof because it takes well over a month to get the proof of the illegal apartment. But I did get a phone call, and I did put in the paperwork.
I know, but you know
for
that every
coding.
litigant can say, someone told me so, that's gospel. And
Well,
you know,
that's
you
okay.
understand a judge isn't going to buy that, right? You know
well,
that.
I know that. I know that.
Okay,
I
you have
put
watched People's Court before, right?
Yeah, I have.
You know
and-
I'm going to insist on proof, right?
Well, I have lots of proof. I couldn't get that because that takes time.
A visit to the city would have gotten you that. You didn't do that, you didn't have time, or whatever the answer is fine, but you understand what the position you put me in, because I can't just accept that someone told you that. I can't just
No, I
accept
could
that.
have
I
had the
to have proof.
paperwork, but this is I was only contacted 2 weeks ago, and it takes like over a month, so I couldn't reschedule this hearing.
It doesn't take a month.
That's what they told me. Lyndon Hurst told me.
It doesn't take a month. If you go in there and you go in person, it just doesn't take a month. It doesn't. Okay? Now, I want to see proof that it cost $40 to stop payment on that check, because if that's the case, and that was her bank's blunder or her blunder by putting it in an ATM, then you shouldn't have to pay that part again.
Well, I think I crossed it off. Overdraft fee. There it is, 35. It's
Overdraft fee.
That was the bounce check fee. That's how they call it. I don't have overdraft.
Now, an
on
overdraft
my-
fee is because you write too many checks and bounce checks, which we know you already do.
Well, it says a service fee or something in there. It was $35, not $40. There's a $35 fee in there.
There's a lot of fees in here.
Well, there are ATM fees, but
right.
There's a service fee in there, and then
That's
there's
a fee for the overdraft for the Visa above it. Okay, we're done. $962, verdict for the plaintiff. Okay?
Thank you, Judge Millian.
Okay.
Well, it's like the equivalent of no soup for you here in the courtroom.
No soup for me. No soup for me.
What's your next step?
My next step is going after the landlord for
what?
having an apartment where their dog urinates on me, where they vacuum at 12:30 at night. This morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, they just were playing with their dog upstairs. Just a lot of things. So I thought that the due diligence of a real estate agent was to protect the person that they are giving the commission to.
All right.
But
Well,
I
good
guess
luck.
not. Well, she could use the
Going
money
forward.
I hope she uses the money for a makeover.
All right. All right, step on in here. Very nice.
Hi.
What's your feeling here?
Was the makeover comment about me or the apartment? I have a broker that trained me very well. I'm very careful with paperwork. Times are tough nowadays for realtors, so I'm pleased, thrilled.
All right, Harvey, what do you got?
Okay, let me put this in simple terms. Once you sign the contract, you lose your right to complain about the realtor finding you the place. You are on the hook, period, period, period.
This is the plaintiff, Michael Cimino. He says he hired the defendant to do some window treatment work on the outside of his house, and he or his workers broke an aquarium, demolished a beautiful Japanese maple tree, and cut an awning twine in the process. When he confronted the defendant, he was indifferent about it and waved him off. When he called the cops to make a report, the defendant started yelling in the background, "Don't hit me, don't hit me." What a loser. He's out $268 in damages, and that's what he's suing for today. This is the defendant, Stephen Fredericks. He says the plaintiff's the one who's out of control because the guy actually physically assaulted him over this. He has a bad back, which is now hurting him even more since the guy violently pushed him in the assault. Bottom line, the guy still owes him for work he did. And if this guy wants to have a dispute in court, a dispute he will have. He's accused of having a shoddy work ethic. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $133.75 for work done.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Michael Femino?
Yes,
you
Your
are
Honor.
suing Fredericks Canvas Products, owned by Stephen Fredericks. You're
Yes.
Mr. Fredericks, for $268 in damages that you say his company did when they remounted your awnings. All right, what happened?
Your Honor, on the day in question, the defendant came to my residence, demanded payment of $133, and when I refused...
Wait, because there's a day in question before that. The hurricane was coming.
The hurricane was coming.
Okay.
We were all being forewarned.
Hurricane Irene.
Hurricane Irene was coming. We were all being forewarned in the Cape May County area to leave the residence, and it was to be a serious hurricane of nature.
Okay.
I decided the best thing to do would be cut down the awnings, the canvas awnings, to save the destruction of the canvas.
Right, because that's
And-
more expensive than just having to pay to retwine them.
Exactly.
Yeah, so what we're talking about is do you have a picture?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
May I see it?
Your Honor, each one of these pictures are numbered so that if you have any questions, I can explain exactly what they are.
Not pretty self-explanatory. So, so you have a big awning over the porch, and then two awnings over the two windows on each side of the porch.
Yes, Your
and so you cut through the twine to take down the awning so the fabric itself doesn't get damaged in the hurricane.
Yes, Your
And how did you guys fare in the hurricane? How did Cape May fare?
Rather well, Your Honor. I guess leaving town and preparing for the hurricane was a better part of valor.
Okay, so now you come home and now you need to have them retwined back onto the metal frame.
Exactly,
So
Your
you
Honor.
call him to do that, and you folks agree on a price of $133.75.
Yes, Your
And so he leaves you a bill of $133.75. And did you find that to be fair or unfair?
I found out to be more than fair.
Okay, but when you come home, you're upset because you noticed some damage. Tell me about that.
As I walked up the steps, I noticed my Japanese red maple, located directly to the right facing the house, was split practically down the middle, the main branch of the crown of the Japanese red maple, which actually makes the entire tree.
Okay, this is the Japanese red maple.
Yes, ma'am. And I have the branch that the defendant broke off, and you'll see that the base of this branch would fit exactly to the picture as the picture depicts.
Okay, so he broke a branch.
This branch. Well, these particular trees have a crown, as you would see in the other picture of other Japanese red maples, and they crown over the top and fall.
By crown, you mean that it's nice and full?
And-
okay.
and falls over.
But there's lots of branches. I mean, that's the branch that came...
This was the main branch.
All right, so you're upset about that, but that wasn't the only damage. According to you, there was an aquarium?
Yes, you have the pictures of the aquarium that was broken just under the window.
Underneath a tree?
Hold on, excuse you.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
So what damage did they do to the aquarium?
They either put the ladder through it, dropped the tool on it, but they smashed the top of it through.
Oh, I see, the smashed top. All right, and then
I talked to him on the phone. That's when the dispute started.
what happened on the phone?
He said to me, well, you owe me $133.75. I said, Steve, I'm not paying that. I'm not paying it because of the damages that were
Your
done, and
Honor.
you saw
Hold
them.
on, it's not your turn yet. I'll be
He's
with you in a
lying.
minute. Go ahead.
Go on. Don't look at each other. No. Let me tell you what doesn't happen. We don't play Candace más macho. You want to know who's more macho? Me.
Okay.
Don't stare each other down in my courtroom. The time for that has passed.
Okay.
Go ahead.
He indicated that he can't be responsible for the damages that were done. And I said...
He comes to your place and says what?
No, that was on the phone.
Okay.
Then 5 minutes later, he showed up at my house.
And what happened?
I answered the front door. He's standing on the bottom step. He said, "You're going to pay me my money?" And I said, "No." Let's make that clear. I'm not paying you the $133.75. And he indicated to me, he pulled out a pair of snips from his back pocket, held it in my face, and it was at that point in time I just looked at him and went, "You're not serious." He made a turn, pivoted on one foot, reached up under the awning and started snipping the ropes off. I immediately called 911, and at that point in time, he turned around, walked to the curb where his truck was parked, and sat on the tailgate. While I was calling 911 and had the 911 operator on the phone, he started yelling, "Don't hit me, don't hit me." It was at that point in time I realized this guy was a player. So the policeman arrived, and he first talked to Mr. Frederick, and he showed Mr. Frederick the pliers that he used to cut the twine. He told the policeman, quote unquote, he also punched me right here in the face.
Okay.
I said, "Okay."
Did you?
No.
Okay.
Then the officer came in, spoke to me, and advised me that if I wanted to, I could sign criminal complaints. And I thought that taking this to the small claims court and ironing out the financial issue as opposed to the criminal issue would be best. I would be best served that way.
Okay. What happened? Did you take a scissor and start cutting down the twine when he said he wasn't going to pay you the $133?
Yes, I did, in short, you know. I knock on his door, and he answers the door, and he goes, "Oh, man, I don't want to deal with this." And I'm saying, listen, all I want to do is take my install down, I'll give you back your awnings, and I'll take and go get somebody else to put your awnings up. That's all. I'm not taking your awnings.
Did you cut the twine on all three?
No, that's when he pushed me and slapped me in the face. Like,
pushed you?
Yeah, he pushed me because I was underneath the awning, like cutting the ropes like this.
Oh, pushed
and
you
he
when
was
you were
up on the porch, and he pushed me like that. And I got like a back operation with 4 pins, and it twisted me. And that's why I was saying about the pain I had for the past couple of days. But I've been in pain
Have you been
for
to a
years.
doctor?
Nah, because it's been ongoing for like, it's chronic pain. So I just deal with it. Yeah, so. And he's an older gentleman. I don't want to sound like an old guy beat me up, you know?
Okay.
So.
Except for he said when he was
on the
calling
phone.
911, you were screaming, "Don't hit me, don't hit me," like he's on 911 and hitting you
because
while
he
he's on 911.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was
Really?
crazy. Yeah. It was like he's leaning over the rail and pushing me to stop cutting the ropes, you know? And then I went to my truck. I sat down on the tailgate and called the cops for the assault.
Okay, so now the cops come. How are the cops treating this? Did they threaten to arrest
Separately.
anybody? Did they say to you that
I didn't want to do no press charges, I told him. You know, I wasn't physically damaged as far as blood coming out of me or anything like that. You know,
okay,
it was
did the
just
police officer confront you on cutting down the twine?
not at all. Well, I don't remember, I'll tell you the truth. I think he asked me, he said, "What's the, what caused this?" And I says, "Well, I was undoing my installation because he refused to pay the bill."
Why don't you just go to court and sue a guy for not paying a bill like other people do? Why would you
For $133?
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. If there is a billing dispute, can the contractor undo the job that he did?
No, he should go ahead and file a lawsuit.
But not undo the job?
I think he could. I think he could take it down.
So he just takes everything away.
I think it's fair, yeah.
What do you think, sir?
I think he can take it away, but he needs to pay money for the owner's time that he invested into hiring that contractor.
Okay, I'm not sure about that. Going inside the courtroom.
Your Honor, this is the name of the patrolman that answered the call.
I don't need that. I need a police
you don't
report.
need that?
Either of you have a police report?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, let's go through what you're asking for.
Yes, ma'am.
According to you, there's $170 is the value of the red Japanese maple tree. How do you come at that figure?
Your Honor,
For a
the
broken branch.
retail price breaks down to $125 for a tree approximately that size. For the planning,
The tree is right under the awning,
window, the
right?
awning.
How would you expect the awnings to be put back on without expecting that there might be a branch that might get nicked.
Your Honor, be very careful. He was able to reach up
Well, they're
under.
not going to bring in a helicopter or a cherry picker to put on the awning. You know what I mean? They're going to put a ladder where
You
all
can
this
stand
stuff is.
right under it, Your Honor.
Okay. What evidence do you have that the Japanese maple tree, number one, did you uproot the tree and take it out of your yard?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's not a total loss. And number two, where is the proof that it's $170?
$175.
Yeah, that's what you're asking for, is $170 for the tree. So where's the proof that it costs $170?
Your Honor, I consider myself to be somewhat of a professional
I
witness in
consider
this
you
matter.
to be somewhat biased in this case because you're the guy who stands to win. Like, you don't have something independent of that, right?
I'm not winning anything, Your Honor. What I have here is more than 20 years experience in raising the Japanese red
so
maples.
that's my answer. All right. Now, you're asking for $30 for the 10-gallon aquarium. Do you have anything to buttress that?
No, Your Honor. It's just
Okay. You have an estimate to repair the cut awning. Do you have something to buttress that?
You might ask the defendant what it would cost to restring an
Okay,
awning.
but you're suing for exactly $43, so I am always curious how you get that.
That's a portion of the $133.75 that he wanted for the entire job.
Right, but how did you arrive at 43? I'm just
I
curious.
divided it by 3.
Okay. All right, I'm ready to rule. On your claim for $133.75, you did a repair, you're entitled to the money, minus what? Well, let me count the ways. All right. You say minus $170 for a red Japanese maple tree that you say is ruined. I think that the best evidence of whether or not it's ruined and a total loss like this is you, the expert on red Japanese maple trees. Because if it was a total loss, it would have been ripped out by you, and it wasn't. So I don't believe it's a total loss any more than you believe it's a total loss. I believe it's a broken branch, okay? And is there some value I can attach to a broken branch? I don't know of one if there is one. Then we've got the twine. We've got you taking the law into his own hands, which you're not allowed to do. I understand why you did it. It's not that I'm thick. It's just that you're not really allowed to do that. I'm going to deduct something for that, because why should you get paid $133.75 when you ripped up one of the awnings? Then I've got a really old aquarium, which is worth something if it got shattered on top, as I can see that it did. What is it worth? According to you, $30. You pull that figure out of the sky. According to me, I'm going to assess a value of, I don't know, $10. The $43, which I think is a fair estimate of what it cost to twine that side, plus a $10 would mean $53. I'm going to allow you to deduct from the $133.75, because otherwise you'd get free stringing for those other two items, $53. And I'm going to find that the net judgment then, in this case, is that you owe him $80.75.
Your Honor.
Verdict, now we're done. Verdict for the defendant in the amount of $80.75.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, see what the plaintiff has to say about the outcome of this case. Surprised, huh?
No,
went that way?
No, wasn't at all surprised that it went that way. The judge obviously tried to do the fairest thing, and in truth, the other two awnings that weren't touched, I should have to pay for. The work was done, but the fact is that the damage was done, and he was held responsible for it.
Did you try to rough him up a little bit there during that?
That's a complete fabrication. I've never, if it weren't for perjury, he wouldn't have had anything to say in the courtroom today.
Okay, all right. Right around the corner, your documents are waiting to wrap up this case. And so here he comes in. You didn't want to make it seem... Well, you win. All right, so how you feeling about that first?
I'm sorry it had to come to this, but, there's some guys that it's a matter of principle. It's not the amount. And him signing...
How would you characterize that customer there?
Crazy. I don't know, like weird kind of guy. Like, you knock on somebody's door, you don't know them, and they're kind of like, when you walk up to them, you get a feeling like, man, I don't even want to go in the house, that type of thing.
Yeah, but according to you, he kind of,
I didn't go back.
He beat on you.
Yeah, well, when I was standing there on the side, he pushed me in the face and twisted my back.
Beat on you.
Yeah.
All right.
And he's an ex-cop, so he might have some, movements that he knows. Right?
Harvey?
If somebody comes onto your property and there's some kind of a dispute, a building dispute or whatnot, and you're not satisfied with what they're doing, take pictures and video. That makes all the difference in the world. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Grigory Shkolnik. He says he hired the defendant a lawyer to help him file a case against his employer, who was accusing him of corrupting some company files. He paid the initial consultation fee to the defendant, and after 2 days, this guy up and quit his case and refused to provide services to him. Well, that is an outrage, and he wants the $200 he paid the louse returned immediately. This is the defendant, John Lefkowitz. He says the plaintiff's an absolute moron with way too much time on his hands. He proceeded to tell him a fanciful tale of his employer putting a chemical into his drink, which caused him to black out. And when he awoke, he was temporarily blinded, and his cell phone was wiped clean. Huh? Bottom line, he collected a consultation fee from the guy, consulted him, and the plaintiff has no case. He's accused of letting a guy in need down.
Okay, Gregory, can you pronounce it for me?
Школьник.
Shkolnik. You are suing John Lefkowitz for $200 for legal services that you say you want repaid to you that you paid him for. Okay, tell me what happened.
I would like to tell you. If you're looking to see a clown, you go to circus. If you're looking to see a lawyer, you go to lawyer office. I came to Mr. Lefkowitz's office, but I am not sure I saw a lawyer. I would like to explain you. For example,
What did you go see him for?
General consultation.
Yeah, over what?
About procedure question.
Okay, what did he go see you for?
What he called harassment, which was the bizarre claim that first his employer put something in his drink and he blacked out, and when he woke up he was blinded, and then all his memory of his cell phone had been wiped out. And it gets better. After that, he told me he invited his ex-girlfriend and his other friend to a birthday party, and he said they did the same thing to him. They put something in his drink and he blacked out. I told him he has...
They put something in his drink and he blacked out,
That was his...
and the phone got wiped?
Same story.
Okay.
So I told him he has no case. I'm not going to take the case. He said, I already filed the case. I just want your advice. I said, well, if you want my advice, I'll give you a consultation, but I'm going to charge you a consultation fee of $150. He said, fine. And he proceeded to tell me all about his fantastic cases. As I said, the first one was just against his employer.
Does he have two separate cases filed?
Currently, he has 6 pending cases in the Brooklyn Civil Court alone. That's the Brooklyn Civil Court, not counting the Small Claims Court, which I don't even know how many he has there. This is a guy with way too much time on his hands. He's got 6 cases going on right now in Brooklyn Civil Court alone.
Okay. The ones that he consulted you on, are those cases filed?
He consulted me actually about 3 cases.
What's the third case?
The third case is the best, well, he sued a woman named Anna.
That's the ex-girlfriend?
Yes, and he said for harassment. And so I asked him what happened. He said, sheepishly admitted that really she didn't want to go out with him, and he wanted this Anna to go out with him, so he sued her. So I told him, you know, you go to a lawyer, and usually you don't get a guarantee, and you don't get a guarantee from a doctor either. But one thing I can guarantee you, I told him, if you want to win a woman's affections, the way to do it is not by suing her.
Oh, nothing says I love you like a lawsuit. All right, so you go to see him about cases that you've already filed?
No,
Who filed the cases?
I don't know.
Your Honor, can I hand up
He's
Exhibit 7?
crazy a little bit, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm
I'll show you
sorry.
the cases
Did
he
you
filed.
file cases?
You're crazy a little bit,
No,
I'm
don't talk
sorry.
to each other. Listen to me. Did you file cases?
No.
All right, thank you. Okay, what this is an internet search of the cases where you're a litigant, and there are several, including, I mean, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You sure?
No, I'm sure that that's what this paper says. The ones that concern me, I mean, his point is that you're a litigious individual.
But you counted up to 6,
My
right?
question to you is, I am concerned about 2 cases. You consulted him on it. You listened to what he had to say. You told him what you had to say. You met with him. You paid him $150 for his time, right?
He asked for $150.
Right, and you paid him $150, and then you gave him a tip.
I gave him a little bit more because I hoped for future cooperation.
Okay, so you gave him $150 plus a $50 tip.
He is not waiting.
He was so pleased with what I had to say, apparently, that he gave me an extra $50, and that's borne out by the emails he sent me, which I will get
Let
to
me see
shortly.
the emails. So you paid him for his time. He gave you his time. Why are you suing him now?
Thank you, sir.
He showed me full unrespect, and all his consulting is fake.
He doesn't deserve any
I'm
respect.
sorry. Please stop.
Okay.
Okay. I expect you to be above the fray. Okay.
Got it.
So can the judge consider the fact that this plaintiff sues everybody in deciding this case on the merits? Can he consider that?
Well, I don't think it's going to be a problem because no lawyer is ever going to take his case again.
Well, no lawyer's going to take his case, but what about this case? Can the judge consider that the guy sues everybody?
No, I think the judge is going to consider that, considering that he sued his girlfriend.
I mean, okay, so the judge can. What about the fact that this guy gave the lawyer a $50 tip? Does that make it sound like the job is good? Can the judge consider the tip?
I don't think he's supposed to, but I think he will subconsciously think about. I think she will think subconsciously about what.
Well, can the judge think consciously about that?
I don't think she's supposed to.
Okay, fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
I'm not understanding. You were happy with his services on the day you paid not just the $150 that you had to pay, but an extra $50 tip. Okay.
He is not waiter.
He's not what?
Waiter.
Then why'd you tip him? I wouldn't have tipped him.
I didn't tip him. It's
okay,
not
you paid him
his
$200.
lawyer.
He only asked for $150.
Maybe his waiter, his lawyer.
Why did you pay him $200 if he only asked for $150?
In future cooperation, for future cooperation.
So what is your complaint? That when you called him back again, he didn't want to talk to you?
Complete unrespect to
How
client.
did he disrespect you?
I can give you one example. I didn't come to him for any special question. I didn't file 6 civil court cases. He is a little bit crazy. It is his fantasy for public. I didn't come. I came to him for procedure question. I came to him to find some legal support. For example, I asked.
How did he disrespect you?
I would like to show you.
I know, say it now. I'm asking the question now. I want the answer now.
Okay.
What did he do to disrespect you?
I asked him, do you have a doctor expert to make some conclusion? He asked me, do you know Dr. Peter, for example? I said, I know. He's expert witness. Why don't you go to him? I said, he's very respectful person, Dr. P, but I don't want to deal with him. I don't want to.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't. We can't just go on like this forever.
Okay,
You went to stop. You went to see him. You paid him. You gave him a tip. Why are we here? What are you suing for?
Okay, let me finish.
I can't. But you were going on and on for minutes, and you're not saying anything.
Okay, 1 second.
Give me all the emails from him. This is not the only email. Hand over all the emails.
I called to this doctor. He said, ha, I am doctor from Dr. P. I work with Dr. P. Come to me, we will talk to Dr. P. I said to him, I don't want to see Dr. P. That is like a cheap trick, you know. But tricking is good for family, for friends, even maybe in synagogue.
Okay, stop,
It's
please.
good.
Stop. On November 24th, he sends you an email. Dear Mr. Lefkowitz, I wish you happy and great Thanksgiving Day. I am looking for a letter to the FBI. And if you are agreeing, please name me your fee and I'll provide you details. Your idea about recorded phone conversations is excellent because, and then he names the company he's suing, harassment and FBI investigation took place at the same time. It's not a huge volume of work. If the FBI becomes interested, they can pass all records data through the computer using control words, Shkolnik, Gregory, this blanking Russian guy or something like that. What is he talking about?
His own fantasy world, Your Honor, is a guy who's like apparently receiving signals from outer space or something. He thinks the company is after him. He wanted the FBI to go after his former employer. I'd like you to look at the top of that document where I replied to him on the same page. It says I would charge him $300 for
a letter FOIL request. That's
correct.
What is the acronym FOIL stand for?
Freedom of Information Law request.
Which means that you ask the FBI for any documents they have on this that happened
Correct.
to be
And then I
public.
went on and I wrote, but I think you're wasting
But I
your
think
money.
you're wasting your money.
I was honest with him. And he just went on and on.
Did you charge him for this advice?
I did not charge him, although I really should have, because the point was that after the consultation, which took 65 minutes of my time, he kept pestering me with these bizarre emails.
All right.
So, Your Honor, one other thing,
Okay,
if you could...
please stop. Okay.
I just want to show you the evidence.
No, I'm done. Okay? I'm really done. You can stick a fork in me. I'm done. I'm ready to rule. Verdict for the defendants.
Thank you.
I'm happy your client saw you. How you discover against ethics law. I'm happy.
You're also a moron.
That is the reason I brought you here.
You know what mudak means in English?
Your pots.
I have a question for you. Where'd you go to law school?
University of Maryland.
How long have you been a lawyer?
18 years.
You're a member of the bar in what states?
New York, Maryland, and Pennsylvania.
What would New York, Maryland, and Pennsylvania have to say about you calling a former client a moron at all, much less at the People's Court?
I don't think they would have anything to say about that, Your Honor. It's not a court of law. I don't think
So
the
it
bar
just
would have to say
doesn't
anything.
matter? You don't have to treat a client with respect?
That's not what I said, Your Honor.
No,
but
it's what you almost said, and you
Almost
caught
said, let
yourself. Stop and listen to me,
Listen.
okay? You think that because this is the People's Court and not your district court, circuit court, county court, of wherever you practice, you don't need to treat a client with respect? You think any of those 3 bar associations would say, you can go ahead and treat a client with disrespect? Don't say a word. It's a rhetorical question. You need to be ashamed of yourself. You're right in the lawsuit and quite wrong about the way you comport yourself. You should be embarrassed. You have ended up embarrassing yourself by the way you tried to embarrass your former client. You could have won with dignity, and instead, you're the one who has ended up looking bad.
All right, let's first find out what the plaintiff has to say here. Come on out here. Tell me, what do you think about the outcome of the case now?
It's real, great, fair.
Are you glad did you get what you wanted? I mean,
Yes.
you didn't get any money,
did.
but you heard what the judge said to the
Money
defendant.
was guaranteed, but honor, respect.
Hey, what happened in your case against the company? What's happening to that case that you have?
Hey, come on, that lawyer is crazy. He's talking, he doesn't know about what is he talking.
Okay.
No, any case.
All right, good luck. Good luck. Right around the corner this way. All right, so come on in here. Step right in here. What do you have to say after the judge had those words for you?
Doesn't change the fact that Mr. Shkolnik is the east end of a westbound horse.
Harvey?
Okay, if there is enough evidence of an MO, a modus operandi on the part of somebody, or where they've done the same thing over and over and over again, then the judge can consider that, because that's simply the way that person rolls.
This is the plaintiff, Anthony Schusterich. He says he knows the defendant from work and was hired by him to fix his mother's roof. He can't believe it, but the guy's backing out on the deal they made for the cost of completing the job. He was only paid $200 and is suing the down-and-out scammer for the $700 he still owed for the work he completed. This is the defendant, George Parenti. He says he agreed to pay the plaintiff $1,000 for the entire job, but somehow the guy got it into his head he was going to be paid $300 per day. He was outraged at that demand, has no idea how the plaintiff came up with this, and thinks he must be out of his mind or something. His other buddies would have done the job for some pizza, but the plaintiff thinks he's worth $300 a day? Ha! He's accused of nailing a shingler.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Anthony
Schusterich.
You are suing George and Esther Parente. George, you have power of attorney for Esther?
Yes, ma'am.
Regarding $700 that you say is owed to you for roofing work that you did, and he agreed to pay and has now not paid you. Okay, talk to me.
Yes, we worked together. He knew I did roofing prior to that.
You worked together at the time that you made this agreement?
Yes.
Okay, and what kind of place did you work at?
It's a cable company.
A cable company?
Yes.
All right, and how long had you known each other?
A little bit over a year, I would say.
And he knew that prior to working at the cable company, you'd done roofing work?
That is correct.
So he came to you and said,
that he's been having problems at his mother's house with leaks. They had estimates done and stuff like that. If I could do him a favor, come over, take a look at it.
Okay, and so you go over to his mother's house.
Took a look at the roof. It was a very big roof. They had leaks that were pretty extensive in a valley area, stuff like that. Measured out the roof. It was 24 squares. Told him that it needed to be ripped. There was multiple roofs on there. It wound up being a cedar roof. Had to do plywood replacement. He said, okay, just place the order for material. Let me know what it's going to be for that and stuff like that.
Okay, so did you tell him how much the roof would cost and how much you were going to charge?
I told him that the material price was that. You would
What
just
was the
pay
material
me.
price?
The material price, the original material price was almost $5,000.
Okay.
I told him I could get it to him then at my cost, which they gave it to him then for about $400 cheaper.
Okay,
for
so
the
can I see the
material.
receipts for the materials? And then, but what about your work?
It was stated that we would do it cheaper than what he could get it for.
What
over
figure is that? I'm not familiar with that figure.
This was not set
That's
up
right.
that
Nobody
it was,
agreed on a specific price.
there was not a specific
Let me just look
price
at the
mentioned.
contract. Do you have the contract?
There is not a contract.
Oh, there's not a contract. Okay, can I see the text between the two of you that talk about like what more or less was going to be charged?
There is none.
Because the two of you do not agree on a price before the work begins, correct?
Correct.
Okay, which is fascinating to me that you have both come in here and come clean on that. Because in your complaint, you claim you were promised $300 a day, and in your complaint, you claim it was $100 a day. And now both of you are where I know the truth is, which is that both of you are knuckleheads and you didn't actually agree on a price beforehand. Because that's how this stuff happens. People say, oh, don't worry, I'll take care of you. All right, yeah. Call me. We have a name for people like you. We call them litigants. So now what happens? Now you feel that what he's offering you is not fair, and you feel what he's asking is not fair, and guess who gets to decide? You people are always arguing and putting me in the middle. It's exhausting. Guess who gets to decide what is fair? Someone other than either of you. That's what you do to a court of law when you don't have an agreement in place. So let's talk about the scope of the work that was done. First of all, the materials are $5,000. You got it a little cheaper, so they're at least here $4,500, right?
That is correct.
For that work, you were going to be doing what?
As a per day type job that I would get paid for the time I was there.
Was that actually discussed per day?
No, nothing was ever discussed with
Okay.
the money for that.
So what did you do on day one?
Day one, we had a ripping crew come in
Who's
to rip
we?
the roof. Me and the defendant.
So he was working too?
Yes, he was going to do a sweat equity.
A sweat equities in order to bring the price down?
Yes.
All right, so he's out there working, you're out there working, and who else is?
A ripping company that we called in to work for doing the entire roof. They were supposed to do the entire
ripping
roof.
company, did they get paid by him?
Yes, they did.
Okay, go on.
That was the first day. We got that plywooded. They ripped it down to the rafters, plywooded the roof, and that was that for the
whole
first
roof?
day. No, absolutely not. This was a small section that was at the highest section. That was what would be called a planker because you can't really walk on it. You need to set up behind it so you could do that.
Okay. On day two, what did you do?
Day two, he had some day laborers there. They ripped the other section.
Again, the day laborers got paid by him, right?
Yes.
Okay.
When they were ripping that section, I was roofing the finished side with the plywood, and that day we finished off by closing in the other side that was ripped.
Were you telling people what to do?
Showing them how to do the shingles, if George was going to come in to do the shingles, just the way the pattern was set up.
Okay, so on day three, what happens?
Day three is that Saturday.
You worked 3 days, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that is correct. On that Saturday, we were doing the valley area. We went to the supply house that was in Ozone Park, picked up the proper material for that, and proceeded with doing that.
The original materials that we talked about that you handed me a receipt for, who ordered and picked up those?
I ordered it. His mother paid for it. The company delivers it directly to the house.
Okay. So go on. Now it's day three.
On our drive to the store, I'm like, this would probably be a good time to discuss money now.
You think that's a good time to discuss it?
Well, I thought he was a friend. This is not the first time that I did.
The worst time. You know, don't smile because I haven't even begun with you yet. See, because apparently you don't work for a pizza, right?
That is correct.
Right, and your answer to the complaint was, I thought he was going to work for a pizza. I figured, well, what would make you think that this amount of work would be for a pizza?
I was going to pay him, okay? That was my intention.
Well, that was your intention, but that's not what you did.
It
and
is
how
what
much
I did.
were you going to pay him?
$1,000 to do the roof, to complete the roof with me, okay?
No, let's hold back a second. What you said in the answer to your complaint, and correct me if this was misinterpreted by me, but I quote, all of a sudden the plaintiff got it in his head that I was going to pay him $300 a day. He was outraged. I have no idea where the plaintiff got that I was going to pay him $300 a day. He's out of his mind. I told the plaintiff the most I could pay him was $1,000 for the entire job. My other buddies would have done the work for a pizza, and he wants $300 a day.
Yes, ma'am.
Friends help each other out.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps he should have his friends work on a car that weren't experts at doing it, stuff like that. I'm sure he could have got anybody to do the roof.
So what exactly did you envision you would pay him?
$1,000.
No, that's what happened later.
No,
I mean
ma'am,
beforehand, what did you envision?
That's exactly $1,000.
So then why didn't you say before the... No, listen to my question. Why did you not say to him before the man starts work, listen, will you do this for $1,000?
It didn't come up. I asked him to give me a hand.
Am I crazy? How does the price of a job not come up between two people before the job begins?
Again, we considered each other friends, okay? I have a friend with me who actually helped me complete.
I don't know who you are to him, but for the love of all that's holy, if you two ever decide to do any work on each other's houses, get it beforehand, what it is that each person is getting paid, okay? So what was the discussion beforehand? Zero. Then when he gets angry, you've paid him $200. Where did the $200 come from as a figure? What was that supposed to be?
We're driving to the supply house. Everything he said so far was correct. We're driving to the supply house. He gets a phone call. Doesn't recognize the number, okay? Thinks it's a bill collector. I said, who do you owe money to? My phone company. I said, when we go home, I'll throw you a couple of dollars. That's how it started.
That was big.
And I also said to him, I said, you know, I'm going to pay you $1,000 for helping me out. That was it. That's when the $1,000 came up. We got home, we did the job, he got $200, and that was it. We ended that. We had bad weather the following week.
Did he say something to you when you suggested the
No.
$1,000? But according to your own answer to the complaint, you say all of a sudden he got it in his head that I was going to pay him $300 and he was outraged. I don't know where he got that from. He's out of his mind. I told him the most I'd pay him is $1,000.
That was on the 4th day on the job. That was 2 weeks later.
Oh, he had 4 days on the job?
No. We were going to restart the job. The job was never completed in 3 days. It took me 8 days to complete it. On the 4th day, when I was starting it, I tell him we're going to start the job tomorrow. So he's asking me for more money, and I said, we're not done with the job. He shows up, and that's when this argument happened in front of the house before we started working.
And tell me about the argument.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So should this plaintiff get any money at all since there was no agreement on price?
Yes, he should.
Why?
Because he did the work.
He did the work, but there was no agreement on price.
But it won't matter because he did the work.
But what do you give him?
You give him fair market value of the work he did.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. We'll find out going inside the courtroom.
He told me he wanted $300 a day. I said, I'm not paying you $300 a day. You crazy? I owed him $800 for $1,000 I was paying. He said, no, I can't do it.
He never agreed to $1,000, did he? You're not suggesting he agreed to $1,000, right?
No, I did not say he agreed. I said I was giving him $1,000.
He takes what he gets and he doesn't get upset, right? Tough for him.
Basically.
Nah, not really. Not really. He takes what I decide is fair for the work he's done. And this, gentlemen, is why you agree beforehand. See, here's the thing. I don't think that anybody, well, I shouldn't say I don't think that anybody, I mean, you can get a day laborer for a lot less than $300 a day. You can get a day laborer for what?
$100 a day.
That's right. Okay. When you get a day laborer, you get a human body that is going to work. When you hire somebody, or you go into business with somebody and you say, I want your expertise because I know you were in this business and I know that you know how to do this right. You are paying for more than a warm body that's able-bodied and can move and gets what you say.
I know.
Did I breathe and give you the impression I was done speaking? You are paying for the expertise at knowing what materials to buy, the expertise at, and you know that he used to be in the roofing business, which is why you hired him. So now I am left to decide, are the $700 that he's asking for his picking the material, ordering the material, being there, giving his expertise, and working for 3 days, the $700 additional dollars, because you acknowledge that you've been paid $200, is that $700 additional dollars some outrageous fee that under no circumstances I think is reasonable, right? That's what you're asking me to say. I have to look at that and say, don't be ridiculous, you're only entitled to another 35 cents. I am not going to do that. I think the $700 is reasonable, and I'm finding in favor of the plaintiff. Next time, gentlemen, you should get it in writing.
Plaintiff has won this judgment here in the People's Court, and the lesson that you should come out of this courtroom having learned is pretty clear, isn't it?
No, I didn't see that I did anything wrong.
Get it in writing beforehand, that's the lesson.
My friend does stuff for me, and I do stuff for him. We don't write contracts with each other.
So you'll just go ahead and make the same mistake again?
No, not with the same person.
With the next guy?
No, there won't be a next guy.
Do you work for pizza? No. No? What do you work for?
For free. I was
All
his
right.
friend. I completed the roof.
Okay, right around the corner.
Gotcha.
You too. All right, so come on in here. You too. I mean, the judge bails you out here.
Well, yes, it was my judgment that was very wrong with that. It's not the first time that I did work for coworkers and agreed upon it that, you know, you'll pay me, you're definitely going to save money, you're getting an expert-type job done.
Well, next time you do work like this, you'll agree in advance what the cost is going to be, or you're going to get back here?
Well, yes, I guess we will do it more legally with a contract signed up. I never thought something like that would have to be done.
I don't want to
as
see you in here
friends.
ever again. Harvey?
Okay, even if there isn't a binding agreement, what you should do is, when you make a deal like this, send a confirming email with all of the terms you did agree on and get the person to send an email back saying, I agree. That will lock it down the way you need it. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Batul Kuchi. She says she and the defendant used to work together, and she fell for the stinker's desperate plea for money to save his sick child. Hook, line, and sinker. Soon after he swindled her, he up and left the job, never mentioning a word to her. She's lost all faith in mankind, can't believe she fell for his tales, and is suing the crook for the $650 she loaned him and a private investigator to find him. This is the defendant, Robert Beavers. He says the plaintiff gave him the money because his child had a heart condition and needed medical attention. He remembers telling her how grateful he was for the offer, but he was not going to ever be able to repay her. The plaintiff told him, don't worry about it, because she was happy to help him. Now she's claiming the gift was a loan and is harassing his wife mercilessly. He's accused of putting an ex-coworker into a tizzy.
Batul Kuchi?
Yes, ma'am.
Kachi or Kuchi?
Kachi.
Kachi, you are suing Robert Beavers?
Yes.
For $650, $550 in a loan that you say you made to him that he's refused to repay, and $100 for private investigator fees to try to find him.
Yeah.
After he tried to ditch you. All right, tell me what's going on.
We used to work together a year back, almost a year back, and we knew that all the coworkers knew that he has a sick daughter. At that time, she was like about 6 months or a little over 6 months. And one day we were waiting for him. He came late, like 5-10 minutes. And as soon as he walked in the door, I asked Robert, how is Sadie doing? And he started crying. And he said, she's no more. Because
She's what?
Like, she had flatline at that time.
Did your daughter pass away?
No. No, thank God she didn't. But he said that when it was his at work, his daughter called him and said that his daughter got flatlined, and he was devastated at that time, and he started crying, and we were like comforting him and everything, and he went back.
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding. Did he think that his daughter had died?
No, his wife called him on the cell phone that their daughter got flatlined because she was in the hospital.
Flatline means dead, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the wife called to say the daughter's dead?
Yes, and he was devastated. He was crying and everything.
So he thought the daughter was dead?
Yes. And after a while, he went back to his family, and we told him, as soon as you go to your family, just call us that we know that you arrived safe at home. And he called us back, and he said that doctors are now trying to bring her back, his daughter. And they did, and the daughter was back, and next day morning...
You pretty much know right away whether you've brought somebody back from a flatline. That's not like a 80-minute thing. What happened?
My daughter was born with a tachycardia, so she has heart issues, and she was in the hospital, and she had some inconsistencies. It's not a normal rate. It's a very, like I said, inconsistently. So basically, she was in the hospital, and there's some issues going on at the hospital. My wife called me, and the whole money situation.
No, we're not there yet.
Oh, we're
Your
not
wife
there.
called you and said what?
There was just the inconsistency, and they were keeping my daughter in the hospital. And Batul overheard
Your wife called
that
you and said what?
they were keeping my daughter in the
Your
hospital.
wife called you and said what about flatlining?
My wife didn't tell me anything about flatlining.
Okay. All right.
That's what you
So
told
they
me.
said that they were keeping the daughter in the hospital. All right. And
And they were going to keep her monitored because of her inconsistency had become more erratic.
okay, now the money issue came up how? He came to you one day.
No, he didn't came to one day. Whenever I see him after that, I ask him how is Sadie doing because she was still in hospital and she had a heart transplant next day.
Oh my goodness, she had a heart transplant?
Yes.
Is that what you told people at work?
No.
So, do you work in an office or something?
Yes, I do.
Okay, if you had a casual coworker, daughter is sick, the person needs money, would you loan money?
I'd be concerned, but I would not do it.
You'd be concerned, hey, I'm really sorry, but I'm not giving you money.
Yeah.
That's compassionate. What do you think?
It really just depends on the interest rate. No, I'm just...
You know what? I like the way you think, although it's pretty callous, going inside the courtroom.
What did she have done?
She's on different kinds of medicine. She's been on digoxin since she was born. Actually, when
Oxygen?
she was digoxin.
Digoxin.
My wife was on that when my daughter was in utero, and then my daughter's on propranolol now to monitor her heart rate and get it into normal flows.
Okay, go on.
And then one day I saw him at work, and I asked how is Sadie doing, and he said she's still at hospital and she has to come up with $600. So she
What does he have to come up with $600 for?
For breathing machine for her daughter. And he said that once I pay $600 to hospital, insurance will reimburse me. And I instantly offered him that I can lend you money and you can pay me back whenever you get the money from the insurance.
All right, this happened when?
So March 16.
Of 2011?
Yes.
Okay.
And first I told him that I'll bring check tomorrow for $600. And then he said, if you can give me cash, it will be faster. I said, no problem, I'll bring cash tomorrow. I did $600 from my bank, and I gave him, and the verbal agreement was that he will pay me back as soon as insurance company reimburse him.
Okay.
And after a while, like week or so, he said that his family is thankful of me and he will bring me thank you card, but he never did. And then one day he said, it was, I think, either Tuesday or Wednesday, he came to me and he said, I will bring money on Friday, $600. I said, I'm not working on Friday, but I will come back on Monday. And he said, okay, I'll bring money on Monday, but he never did. And
And what did he do on Monday? When you walked in expecting to see the money, what did he say?
He already left the company at that time.
Oh,
after that.
So he stopped working there.
Yeah, he
Did
got
you get
another
anything?
job.
Did you have him sign anything when you loaned him the money?
No.
Were there any witnesses when you loaned him the money?
Yes.
Are they here?
Yes. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
He's not here.
The gentleman who's with you is moral support, or he's a witness?
He's my husband.
Moral support. Did you know about the money?
Not at that time.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Wait,
That's
pick it
good
up
because
in the
I always
back.
want to know if there's going to be an added problem after you go on. What happened?
She gave me the money, and I said I was in a tough spot financially with my daughter's medicines and our bills.
Was there a breathing machine that the hospital was
There's
making?
been a bunch of medicines that my daughter has been on, and we were in a tight spot because my hours got cut at work, and so we got in a tough spot, and she gave me the money. How am I going to give her the money back if I can't pay my bills and I can't pay for my daughter's medication anyways?
Well, the same way, I mean, when people borrow money, it's because they don't have the money, and then
But I never asked her to borrow me the money.
Hold on a second. So the way somebody pays it back is that in the future they pay it back when they're not as in a tight a spot. So the fact that you have no money at the time you're borrowing money is not indicative that you were never going to obligate yourself to pay the money. So now, according to you, she just gave you the money just to be nice?
That's my conclusion.
That's your conclusion?
Yeah.
Well, what was the discussion you had
It was never
with
said
her?
that I had to pay her by X date or I had to
How
pay her
about
back
that you
at
had
all.
to pay her at all?
That was never said.
So you thought it was a gift?
Yes, I did.
Now, don't you wish you'd gotten something in writing?
Yes, ma'am.
So, according to her, though, you have started to pay it back.
Yes, because I had received harassing phone calls, constantly certified letters to my job. And so to get it off my wife's back, because she'd call my wife and hang up and then yell and stuff like that, I gave her some money just to do the right thing, even though I don't think that
That's the right thing.
That's the right
why
thing,
don't
but
you
I
finish
don't.
doing the right thing?
Because
Why is it the right thing? If it's a gift, it's not the right thing. Anybody who calls it the right thing might feel like it is the right thing.
she gave me the money, and I was doing the thing to get her not to harass my wife and send certified letters to my new job.
I never harassed your wife.
If she gave you the money, if she truly gave you the money, why is she trying to collect it?
I don't know. I told her I didn't have the money to pay her back, and she gave me the money. That was the agreement.
Man, where are you going to go when you need help?
Huh?
You heard me.
No, I didn't.
Where are you going to go when you need help?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Because here's somebody who at a moment of need, I believe she loaned you the money. I believe it because you act like she loaned you the money. You call it the right thing to pay back, and you paid back $50 of it, okay? And she is like incessantly trying to collect on what she says was always a loan. So it looks to me like a really simple case. If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, it might just be a duck. And if that's the case, and if when you're at the lowest point of your life, at the saddest, most need-desperate part where you're hoping against hope that things are going to turn out well, and you need money to continue to make sure that your daughter's health isn't jeopardized, and this lady loans it to you, and then you turn around and do her like this, where are you going to go when you need help one day? Do you believe in karma? If you don't believe in a higher being, do you believe in karma? Wow.
I disagree.
This is all I have available to give you this upcoming week. This is a note from you with, it's not even $50 at once. It's $20 on October 4th. It's some cash on August 29th.
Yes.
It's some other cash in September. All she asked, you called her in December and said you'd send $10 every month, and you couldn't even do that much. Wow.
That's not true.
No, actually, he agreed that he will.
Who wrote this? Who's
the top line is his handwriting.
Oh, okay. Take a look at that. Who's Larry Brown?
Larry Brown was a co-worker too, and he was there when I offered him money.
Mr. Beavers, you know Larry Brown?
Yes, I do.
According to Larry Brown, Robert Beavers was talking about his daughter. He said he didn't have the money to pay her daughter's doctor's bills. My coworker, Batul, offered him the money, which was $600. I was there when she offered him the money, which I understood that he has not paid back. I would prefer that he tell me whether it's a loan or not a loan, which he doesn't even address here.
Yeah, but his word was, I have to come up with $600.
Well, clearly, if he's paying partially and he's like, this is all I got right now, it's just that he doesn't want to finish paying you. That's all. It's very simple. Now, you're suing for a private investigator, $100. What's that about?
Because I have to find him. He changed his phone number on me. So I don't have anything else to do.
Do you have a receipt from a private investigator for $100?
Yes, sir. $100 for that, and then $80 to serve him the court summons. All I have it here. And there's one more.
How come you changed your phone number?
How come I changed my phone number? Actually, I had 3 phones on one contract. The one number expired, and the harassing phone calls continued. So I did not tell her what my new number was, and I would call her from a private number.
Okay. Well, I find it in her favor. And I find it in her favor in the amount of the $650. Verdict for the plaintiff.
All right, you guys just hold on right there for me, please.
All right, so the defendant leaving the courtroom. Come on out in the hallway here. How's your daughter doing?
My daughter is doing okay.
Yeah.
She's doing okay. She's still on the medicines and everything like that, but she's doing okay.
Yeah, we wish her the best. How do you think you looked in the courtroom?
I don't really care how I look. I know what the truth is.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you didn't owe her the money, why'd you start paying it back?
To stop the harassing phone calls. She was harassing my wife, harassing me at my new job of employment, and it just got excessive. So I thought if I sent her some money, maybe she would leave me alone.
All right, well, good luck with your daughter.
Thank you.
She feels better. This way, okay? Right down there. All right, so come on in here. step on up here. What are you thinking about the situation here now?
He's lying, and he owes me $882.17. That was because I had to fine him. I had to serve him summons. It was all $882.
What have you learned here?
Never help with money. Never help with money.
Aren't you glad that money went to the little girl's health at least?
No.
Harvey?
You know, this is a clear case where the plaintiff should have, could have, absolutely should have demanded an IOU. That would solve a lot of problems. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.